tumekuwa na nafasi, fursa nzuri kwa minajili ya kuuliza maswali. Tulipoanza asubuhi, tukakubaliana kwamba maswali itakuwa wakati wa mwisho. Sasa ni wakati wa kutoa maswali kwa minajili ya viongozi wetu wapate kujibu, kutueleza na kutupa maarifa zaidi kuhusu mpangilio ya serikali, jinsi ya kuimarisha uchumi yetu kwa njia ya kidijitali. It's a session that belongs to all of us, and be free to use any language. I'll be available to translate in case you'll want to use your father or mother tongue. Otherwise, I would wish to take this opportunity and request our PA team to support us to ensure that every one of us has an equal chance of asking a question. Ukitaka kuuliza kwa Kiingereza ni sawa, Kiswahili sawa, lugha ya baba na mama tutatafuta watu wa kutafsiri. And the questions, PS and the Mheshimiwa and the team up front, while we'll be focusing on the conversation we've had around the opportunities or unlocking opportunities in the digital space through the digital economy and the digital footprint, under the one government approach, we will also allow the citizens to ask us any question relating to government beyond the ICT sector. I hope that is okay with you, Mheshimiwa and PS. Thank you very much. I therefore will be taking a number of rounds of questions, probably 5 questions. Thereafter, we'll give the team up front to be able to respond to those questions. By show of hands, let me get the first question or clarification. Let's give to our brother and then we'll move in that direction. Karibu Mheshimiwa Bernard Kitur, karibu sana. Let's have him get a microphone. Maswali tunaweza anza na maswali ambayo yanahusu digital economy, alafu baadaye maswali yanayohusu serikali kwa ujumla. Iwe ni serikali kuu ama serikali ya county. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Mulweye Kevin Kibore. I'm a founder and patron of a community-based organization known as Kilimani Buddha CBO, which runs an ICT Mtaa Hub. And mine goes to the ICT department in this sense. We have been interacting with some of the products from government, and that is Ajira and also Jitume. Our greatest challenge as ICT hubs in the Mitaani is that most of these programs are run in the formal sector, that is in institutions. And right now we are looking at an opportunity where then a greater number of the youths that we are serving comes from the mitaa. Now, how well is the ICT authority or the ICT department versed with taking up these ICT hubs back to the mitaas? Right now, we are running an ICT hub, and we desire to see the support of government kule mtaani, because hawa vijana wengi wenye wanataka hii skill na wanataka hii ujanja, wale wote wako mtaani huko. Hawa wenye wameenda kole wako na hiyo opportunity ya kufanya nini? Ya kushika at least any other course from there. But what about this young man pale mtaani? How well can we take this computer and this Jitume lab pale mtaani? A second one and a quick one. Media and ICT happens to be now the backbone of the next economy. We are really trying to produce these people from the grassroots. But apparently, even to get an access to communication authority to get licensing for media hubs and media content producers is a challenge. Mheshimiwa KJ, unaweza kutubeba kama mitaa ya mabanda, kutupeleka pale communication authority, tuweze kusaidika kwa haraka. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Kevin. PS, you consider the first question, and Mheshimiwa, the second question was directed to you. The second question, we can follow the row. My brother with the blue top.
Okay. Our guest speaker, who is the BS, Chair, members of parliament present, and all the dignitaries. My question goes directed to Reb who took us through a theater or diaspora. The question is this. You told us about your function, and you talk about one fundamental function. You told us that your function is to protect those who are working in abroad. But we are having challenges for those who are working, for instance, Saudi Arabia, especially ladies. We are hearing and you are seeing each and every now and then, they are experiencing a lot of challenges. What could be the goals and what measures have you taken to ensure that they are protected? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, the fourth question you could give him, and then the last question in this particular round will go back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I am Lamek Kiptanui from Osbridge, Uasin Gishu County. Na niko na maswali ambayo nimetengeneza. So naenda one by one nikiuliza our peers na our members of parliament around. So kwa wale walitufunza kwa mambo na Open University, do we have higher diplomas in Open University of Kenya? Online higher diplomas in Open University of Kenya? And if we have, why should you pay? Why should you pay? Yet it is online, na unajilipia mwenyewe bundles yako, na unasoma na kiti yako. So utakuwa unalipa nani, hiyo pesa inaenda wapi? Hiyo nje nauliza ministry. So kwa Ministry of ICT,
tutulie ndio tusikie
Ministry
maswali.
of ICT. So far, it's only towns connected with government internet. Je, wale watu ambao wanaishi reserve, ambao mnasema fiber optics imezunguka Eldoret, Nakuru, wapi, Kitale, na wale wako reserve huko watapata internet wapi, watasoma aje? So, our guests watajibu hiyo.
Your last question.
Okay, today this one concern the labor migration. Yenye nimesikia wakisema kuna labor migration. So niliona kwa one of our cabinet secretaries, Dr. Alfred Mutua, alikuwa ameweka kwa X yake akasema kuna recruitment ya watu kwenda Qatar. Na akawa amesema leo tarehe 25th, 26 and 27 interview inaendelea Kabete. So mimi nilikuwa nauliza Wakenya wengine watapata wapi nafasi kufika Kabete? Yet this thing wangeweka online, Wakenya wenye wana apply kwenda abroad waweze ku-apply online, wafanyiwe kila kitu, kwa sababu this one ita-benefit watu wa Kabete, na sisi wenye tuko Uasin Gishu tutasaidika namna gani? Asanteni.
Asante sana Lamek. Tuchukue ndugu yetu ambaye ako na sweater ya maroon on top, farthest end. Bado kuna nafasi. Usipopata nafasi raundi ya kwanza, utapata kwa raundi ya pili. Asante sana.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Swali langu iko na some source of disappointment.
Utujulishe kwanza wewe ni nani, kisha
my name is Jeremiah Juma Rambo. Swali ya kwanza, you know, we are saying the world is going digital, but as a country, are we really ready for it? And if yes, have we put all measures to make sure that we are ready for the digital world? Swali la kwanza, kuna kitu inaitwa Maisha Card. Kitu ya disappointment ya kwanza, the youth sitting here, Bwana Waziri, watakuambia they cannot be allowed to open a bank account using a digital card, and yet the government has started implementing it. What or which communication measures are you putting forward to make sure that you link these youths whom the government already has wasted their time with the digital cards, so that wanaweza saidika wakienda kwa bank pale wa register bank account, maisha yao imesimama in one way or another. The implementation of the digital card ilianza, and yet there was no public participation on it. The world is going digital. The digital card iko na expiry date span of 10 years. Imagine this citizen of Kenya ametoka hapa ameenda US, card yake ime expire. He is not a citizen of US, haezi pata services za Kenya. Huyu jamaa ako stranded, mutamsaidia aje? Ya pili, huyu jamaa ambaye anatumia this maisha card ako hospitali pale hivyo, hii maisha card linafaa imsaidie kupata services za hospitali. For example, sasa tumetoka NHIF tuko SHA. Hii maisha card linafaa tumie pale hivyo, ime expire kupale kwa hospitali. Which measures have you put in place to make sure that huyu mtu atasaidika? Now, we have the maisha card. Hii maisha card inafaa itumike everywhere because the world is going digital. Do you have machines that will be put in every place to read that maisha card because iko na chip there? Now, what is that chip for? It started with something ilikuwa inaitwa huduma number. With that chip, haikufanya, and we spend a lot of money. Hiyo pesa hata mngepeleka ifunze orphans saizi, wengi sasa wangekuwa mapilot na wangekuwa wanasaidia nchi. Tunasikizana?
Tunakupata, lakini maliza swali lako.
Namaliza. Ni Rambo. Unajua Rambo akiongea anakuanga hivyo.
Asante.
Another thing, hii maisha card inafaa ni kitu, the world is going digital. Before mwanzo implementation, kuna yule mtu ambaye ako village pale, na nimesikia mmeongelea mambo ya fiber and all these things ambao zingine hazijafika nyumbani. Tukienda hata nyumbani unapata hata network ya Telcom, hata hizo zingine hazipatikani. Sasa fiber ndio itafika. Hii maisha card inafaa itumike mpaka pale mashinani pale hivyo. Which training have you given to those people at the village level to enable them to be using these cards? Because we have in a society, we have those who are educated and we have those who are illiterate. Ama semi-illiterate. What measures are the government putting in place to make sure that these people are well secure? In fact, saizi tunaweza amua to sue the government kwa sababu our youths are suffering. Wawezi pata services kwa sababu hii maisha card. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana Juma. Tunapoendelea, maswali haya yatajibiwa kwanza, lakini ningependa tusaidiane ili watu wengi wapate nafasi ya kuuliza swali ama maswali. Tuulize swali moja moja. So tafuta swali ambayo inachoma zaidi kwa maswali yote ambayo uko nayo, uulize ndio tupate nafasi kuwapa wengine. We will now move to the team up front to respond to the questions already asked, so that then we can progress. We have around 8 questions asked by 4 people. The first question was asked by Kevin, and the question was on Ajira and Jitume and the challenges around it. Largely, the question probably to PS and Mheshimiwa PS, that we've done largely in formal institutions, TVETs, learning institutions. But the question is, what are we doing to the youth in Mitaani? How do we get Jitume and Ajira to Mtaa? The second question was on media and ICT being the next economic driver and the challenge of getting licenses from CA. Mheshimiwa, how do we support the young people to be able to get the licenses and the required licenses to be able to operate? Swali la tatu linahusu to protect those working abroad. It's largely on diaspora matters. Mheshimiwa, itakuwa swali lako pia. What is the government doing to support those who are challenged, who probably are working in Middle East and have challenges? Swali la Lamek linahusu Open University. Na swali hilo ni, is Open University offering higher diploma? And if so, the question was, why are we paying? So that then we address those questions, I would like to give PS to start us off with the first question on Ajira and Jitume. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Kwa majina naitwa John Tanui, Engineer John Tanui, Principal Secretary ICT and Digital Economy. We are very happy to be here in Eldoret at Town Hall and to meet the young people of Uasin Gishu County. First, we really want to appreciate you for coming together this morning from 11 and interacting with the team that has come from Nairobi and also from private sector and the ministry, and to listen to what they were sharing about opportunities in the digital space. I'll respond to that, the question, and we'll be responding. Some of the questions we will ask some of the presenters who did to come and answer, like the Open University, the person who presented from Ministry of Diaspora, so that we can have exact answers. So the first question from Kevin Kibor about digital hubs. And the question is, why aren't we in mtaani? Mbona tunafanya kwa formal institutions? First, this program is part of the digital hubs. We plan to have one digital hub, at least a minimum of one digital hub in every ward in the country. We have 1,450 digital hubs in the country. And when we are saying we're adding fiber, connecting, our aim is to ensure every digital hub in every ward will be connected with fiber. So that's the objective. So we've started, and we have started with the TVET institutions. We have done now 274 of them, majority of it in the TVET institutions. So you are right, we've started in formal institutions. But we are on the way. We were in Ainapkoi constituency today, and the member of parliament is here. He has 3 wards, and he intends to do even more than one in one ward, because we've started with 2 in his constituency, and they are informal institutions. That is Kipkapos, TTI, and also Rift Valley TTI. Today we have launched those 2 of them. But he has plans to do in Wanifa, Ilula, and some other locations, which we'll be doing. We are going to work with members of parliament to ensure at least in every ward there is one. So the answer is we will reach there. The second answer also is that we are not only working with public sector. If we have somebody who has started a digital hub in a community, we also can support community digital hub. So we have a few of them which we call community hubs, and we have provided services and connectivity the way we've done in our TVET institutions. So if there is a team who have one kwa mtaani popote, you can share with us, but it must meet some standards, that it is a good criteria that meets some standards, then we will do the connection, and Concert Technopolis, ICT Authority, can visit those locations and verify. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is also from Kevin, and allow me to start by introducing myself. My name is John KJ Kiarie. I represent a constituency within the city of Nairobi called Dagoretti South constituency. Dagoretti South constituency is a lot like how Eldoret is. We are part country and we are part city. So we say that we have the best of both worlds. If you want city living, you'll find it in Dagoretti. If you want country living, you'll find it in Dagoretti. Secondly, allow me to also say that I'm not here alone. As a member of parliament, I'm also joined by the honorable member for Anaibkoi constituency, the one and only Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, and you can appreciate him in advance before I tell you what he has been doing all morning. All morning we have actually been going around this constituency to certain centers where the honorable MP so hard to ensure that we have digital innovation hubs, and of today we were able to open 2 digital innovation hubs in 2 TVETs in this constituency. So I think he deserves a round of applause. I'm also joined in my committee of communication, information, and innovation by a very young and vibrant and forward-thinking digital member of parliament representing Nandi Hills constituency. Please let's appreciate the Honorable Bernard Kibor Kitur. He's here with us. Now to Kevin and the question that you ask. I need to say this before I answer your question, that all the questions that we have here today, maswali yote yale ambayo tunauliza hapa, each of that question is actually an opportunity for any innovator who is keen to take up that as a challenge and offer a solution to it. Why do I say this? It is because the future of work is changing drastically. How you knew work to be is going to be very different today and into the future. So there could be something that you're studying in school or something that you studied in school that will be obsolete even before you graduate from what you're studying. So you have to start thinking, what does the future of work portend for us? And the simple solution I can offer is that in this future that we are going into, each individual shall be paid commensurate to the solutions that they offer. So each and every question that you see as a challenge today, also see it as an opportunity for any inventor in this room to start addressing that issue with a solution, and you will end up getting paid commensurate to the size of the solution that you offer. Now, Kevin asked, there are young people who want to set themselves up as a media house, as a TV station, as a radio station, and they are looking for how they can access communications authority so that they can set up as such. Now, I can only throw the question back to you, Kevin. Have you been studying the trends of media today? The example I can give you is that just a few years back, we had taxis in cities. We had taxis and cabs in towns. When the cabs and the taxis were told that there is a digital revolution coming up and it shall revolutionize your transport, some of them did not take it seriously. They said, mimi nimekuwa na hii Crown Toyota yangu outside Ambassador Hotel from the 70s. And so my business is not going anywhere. But today as we speak, in Nairobi City, and I dare say also in Eldoret City, there is not a single taxi operating today. There is not a cab operating today in the way taxis and cabs used to operate. Why? Because the trends dictate that today for you to run a taxi or a cab, you have to be on a digital hailing program. Whether you call it Uber, whether you call it whatever they are called, these digital hailing cabs. That is the same situation in media today. That media is transforming so fast that those who won't transform will end up being swallowed by new revolutions. So as a young man today, you probably don't need to be going to Communications Authority to look for a license to flight a media station. Today, a man like Alex Chamwada, who used to be in a newsroom, is today running his media station on the platforms that are provided by the new digital platforms. And I dare say that Alex Chamwada, Enoch Sikolia, Lynn Ngugi, and all these people who are going into the new way of media stations are enjoying way more audiences than even entire media houses. Meaning that in the future, maybe investors will not be investing in brick and mortar, bringing in journalists into a studio, transmitting news at 9 p.m. In fact, TV by appointment is done. When I was doing TV, when I was in university, we got what was called prime time slot. Ridiculous used to air at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, which was a prime TV night. People would wait for 7:30 And by 7:30, people would disappear from where they are so that they can go where a TV is, so that they can watch Ridiculous. That is viewing by appointment. That is over. People want their content on the go. So probably if you're setting a media house today, you want to enjoy what is being offered by new digital platforms and set up your media house in that format and style. And in that way, you shall be going well into a new world that is beckoning already, and that is the future of media and media transmission as we go forward. Finally, and this is the last thing I'd like to say about that, kindly check out and see what these people we call influencers are doing. It is not a joke anymore. Today, a person who has good numbers on any platform, is they themselves a brand, they themselves a media house, they themselves an advertising agency, they themselves a carrier and a conduit for media. So maybe the question we need to be asking is, are we sensitizing our new generation of media practitioners to know that the media has changed, just in the same way a taxi does not exist today and we are using Uber? I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself,
Yes,
what you do, and then you can follow up.
Thank you very much. My name is Marco Murunge, and I work with Google and YouTube. And PS, Mheshimiwa, and other MPs here and senior dignitaries, I'm very honored, and my fellow citizens very honored to be in this forum. I just want to add two things. On the hubs, the digital hubs, as Google, we are collaborating with Ministry of ICT and the government. We have a statement of collaboration to support digitalization and digital transformation. And so for the hubs, we have a program for supporting hubs with mentorship and with trainings. So the hubs that are being established, the ones that were established today, I'm happy to get in touch and also see how, as Google and also as other members of the private sector business, doing business in the digital economy, can support. Secondly, I agree with what Mheshimiwa KJ has said. In fact, one of the good examples is Churchill. Churchill was very much someone who started his career on TV, and now Churchill is the person as a single individual who has the highest number of subscribers on YouTube. As opposed to YouTube channels owned by media platforms, he is the one who has the highest viewership, and he has been able to build that audience by moving from traditional media to online on YouTube. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
On the question on diaspora, allow me, there's no one from the Ministry of Diaspora to offer, or there's diaspora there, they are better placed to answer that question, and they might be supported by Wakili Samuel Chepkonga, because there was a rights issue that was raised there. So maybe,
we will come back. I will give Professor Chepken and yourself opportunity before we move to the next round of questions. I would wish us to move to the next set of questions about how is the country ready. We are saying we want to be a digital economy and be connected to the globe. How ready is the country? We've heard from government and our legislators about the plans they have. We wish to get from private sector their contribution around making Kenya ready, if not yet. And I would wish to begin from Inua AI, then Elder Hub, so that then we appreciate what is private sector doing around making Kenya digitally ready. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity to be here as well. I think the future is all about collaboration. And that's why, as an institution, we've decided to partner with the government. We also have partners that we work with. The trend is we are moving away from the traditional way of doing business, where you have a client. talks a lot, and all those. It's a bit, but you need to work together in a collaborative manner to achieve. Talks a lot, and all those. It's a bit. The hubs that we're setting around, let's focus on, identifying the talents within ourselves. We'll be guided. We are there, as in we'll come in and support where we can. Tell you, hey, this is what the market is heading towards. These are the opportunities that you can go out for. Because the infrastructure is there. I can't talk about the infrastructure right now, because I'll be lying to you if I talk about the infrastructure. We do have the infrastructure that the government has laid down. It's only that we need to be patient. When you're setting up a business, I'll give you an example. Like, I think it's Microsoft. Microsoft took 10 years to be successful. It's 40 years to be successful. Same thing, it took many years from Amazon to be successful. So it's all about patience. And this goes to an individual level. So I've just graduated and I want to get a job. You're looking at a cybersecurity job, software engineering job, or a paid media manager job. You can't do that if you don't go out there and do research to understand what is it that requires me to get to that level. And remember, you're not competing in somebody who's next to you or a countermate. You're competing from a global aspect. That really plays a key role. Once we discovered as a company, for example, and myself, that we are competing from a global market aspect, that's when things started falling into place. Right now, we get so many references, we have to turn some away and say, you wait, because we are not ready. We will fail you as a person. So I think we need now, one, most importantly, if you're an individual, work on your communication, because everything goes in line with communication. If you're looking for an opportunity out there in the digital space, for example, you want to work on a profession, as a profession in a certain area, you must understand that communication plays 80% of that role. So if you can't really put it out there, you will miss out on so many opportunities. So for me, I'll go more so in that line for now.
Thank you very much. Elder Hop?
Thank you very much, and I think there is something that I really needed to talk about, the question that was asked by Jeremiah. He said that, are we ready, and do we have all the measures to be ready for the digital economy? First of all, I want to mention that, and just like our peers and the chair and member of parliament has talked about, first of all, we need to be ready in the mind. First, there is one thing that we need to really talk about, the mindset. The mindset, that is where it starts. Because if you look at Kenya and the statistics, and I don't know if Google has these statistics, that over 90% of Kenyans have access to mobile phone. And maybe the internet, I don't have the right statistics, I would have prepared about the right statistics, but most of the Kenyans can access a phone, most Kenyans can access the internet, most Kenyans, Kenya, for example, even compared to other countries, you can imagine the Huduma centers that we have. I used to work for Telkom Kenya, and we install internet all the way to Garissa, all the way to Moyale, through the North P, by the Kenyan government. And Kenyan government also has the Jitume labs. The Jitume labs are opportunity. There are computers which you can access the internet. There are the Jitume lab and the internet. There is even somewhere there is a free internet. So sometimes I feel we really need to be ready in the mind. If you look at Kenya, for example, on the e-commerce, e-commerce has three aspects. E-commerce has information, access to information. Of course, you can always access to information that someone has a product, and you can connect with the buyer and the seller. That one, as Kenya, we've gotten it right. Secondly is the payment. We have M-Pesa payments. Even including payment, if you transact anything, there is M-Pesa, and everyone has access, including my grandmother in the village. She has access to M-Pesa. And that means even in the e-commerce, I'm just giving this as an example, in the e-commerce, we've gotten right in terms of mobile money transfers. And then comes to the logistics. How do you get that product to someone? So, and that's where we are, of course, still struggling. If you see, digitally we are ready. So logistics, how do you get? And I read somewhere that Alibaba is currently figuring out how do they get their products to rural China? And you can imagine China is almost like a continent. So they are figuring out when someone orders a product, they get it in 2 hours to rural China. So you can imagine that. And that's why I say we really need to be ready ourselves. The infrastructure is already there and all that, and the internet, every Kenyan almost has internet. So there are some few key things. First of all, we need to skill and reskill, something that as Elder Hub we are focusing on. You need to reskill and skill. You know, the digital economy keeps changing. It's a dynamic world. If you don't change, you are going to be disrupted. So you need to understand what are the latest trends. You know, that's why Uber and the rest have really succeeded and disrupted the industry. So, and you know, initially it used to take like 10 years before you are disrupted. Nowadays it takes even less than 1 to 3 years before you are disrupted in the market. So it's same case to your skill. So you need to always reskill. The people who skill very fast are the ones who have a head start. Both whether you are in the industry, both whether you are a young person and all that. And that's why I keep saying we need to be ready in the mind. And then we also need to leverage on data, and we need to leverage on the challenges, like our chair and the member of parliament have already spoken and say that, you know, all these things that we are complaining about could actually be opportunities for us to grow, and we could leverage on data. And also maybe that's also another area where the private sector, the government, the academia needs to come together, first of all, to understand, like for example, maybe like for example in the circular economy, you know, what data, maybe what waste is generated in Uasin Gishu County on a daily basis. You know, so that, you know, when you are innovating based on also data. You know, do we even have such kind of data? And sometimes as Kenyans and maybe also government needs to invest more on data so that we understand ourselves. Because if we understand ourselves, we are able to innovate more. And let's leverage on data and understand the latest trends I've talked about, and also problems or opportunities. Look at that challenge that is there. You know, is that challenge, you know, worth maybe building a business out of it? During my presentation earlier, I talked about the gig economy. I also talked about the digital labor platforms that gives opportunities for us to access these opportunities. So when the government talks about the jobs in the Jitume lab, you know, let's be ready, okay? Because being ready is, you know, how do you access this information? What kind of qualification do I need? What kind of mindset and all that do I need for me to benefit from these opportunities? So that's why also gig economy could be one of the opportunities that are there for the young people to access maybe opportunities as well as the employment, and digital labor platforms can become a channel for us to access all these opportunities. Kama Wasili, Uber, Airbnb, those are all the opportunities that are brought about by digital economy, na inatupatia opportunities to access these opportunities. So another thing is entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is look at that problem. Is that problem something that means a lot to me? And is it something that I can make progress, that I can look at it and see this is a problem that affects so many Kenyans, that I can build a business out of it? Because business is about numbers, accessibility, it's about desirability. Kuna mtu atakulipa ndio umsaidie to solve that problem. And that is how it all starts in business. And that's why I keep saying it starts with the mindset. And again, also to what my colleague here from Inua AI talked about, is building that innovation ecosystem, that collaboration where everyone comes on board and we think about, you know, about our country. I've seen Google X, if you Google X, Google has a program, I don't know if it's a program called Google X, where they do a lot of experiments there. And they told us that 90% of those experiments fails. So there is also that opportunity to give our young people opportunity to also fail and experiment, because a startup is an experiment. You know, what about if we, you know, when Google experiment, they put in a lot of resources. How can government put in resources as well, so that young people can, as they innovate, there is that de-risking. Because the first thing when when you register a business is KRA, iko hapa. That and the starter bill is being talked about. And how can we give tax holidays? How can we create that enabling environment and ensure that young people can experiment so that they come up with these innovative ideas? I will stop at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kimon. What I've gotten from private sector is dawa ni kujituma. Na serikali imelete jitume. So it means the solution starts with me. Mheshimiwa Mercy Chepkirui, we've heard what the national government is doing as well as the private sector. What is the devolved units, the county governments, doing around making itself and their citizens digitally ready? And probably for Uasin Gishu County, what are you doing? Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Honorable Mercy Chepkirui, the Vice Chair ICT, e-Government at the County Assembly. So far, the county government has done a lot in terms of ICT and making things easier for the residents of Uasin Gishu. Number one, I can start with the CCBO Pay, which has assisted you don't have to queue anymore for you to pay for services in Uasin Gishu County.
The county deserves a round of applause on that. Thank you very much. CCBO Pay.
Yeah, and then we've also partnered with Ajira, and the CEO can confirm that there are about 300 youth who are trained, and we are looking into training more. It's just that I don't know if in the national government you have the challenge of funding towards the ICT department, because I think that's a challenge.
Well, for the centers that are going to be built, Katibu did mention them in passing, but in the vision which is carried in the Kenya Digital Master Plan, the vision is that in the next few years, Kenya is going to construct 4,150 digital innovation hubs. 4,150 is a magic number because in Kenya there are 4,150 wards. So it means, it means then there is going to be a digital innovation hub in every ward. Now, as per the challenges, what we are innovatively doing, start this year, is that members of parliament have gone to parliament and repurposed the National Government Constituency Development Fund. So now the NGCDF shall be partnering with the ministry, where the ministry is constructing the brick and mortar. The NGCDF is constructing the brick and mortar. So if you come to Dagoretti constituency, you'll find that we are building a digital innovation hub using NGCDF. Then the ministry will equip this digital center with computers. So if it is a small lab, it gets 50 computers. If it is a medium size one, it gets 100 computers. If it is bigger than that, it gets the computers that it needs. After the equipping, the ministry again does what NGCDF is not able to do. NGCDF cannot do recurrent expenditure. The two main recurrent expenditure, and I think that's where your question is, are on one, utility, electricity and water, and two, the staffing. So now each constituency shall be identifying the people who they want to work in this place. These 2 people per center shall be onboarded onto the ministry, and they shall be employees of the ministry, and they shall be manning these centers. So these are young people who are going to go in permanent and pensionable as employees of the ministry. But that is not where the magic is. The magic is not about giving 2 guys jobs. What we are seeing in the hubs that are being built is that each and every young man who sits there has the opportunity to work in the gig economy that we are being told by Eldo Hub and we are being told by Inua AI. And it is not a joke when you hear the president talking about the Taptengelei revolution. I have seen it with my own eyes. A guy sitting in the comfort of their village TVET is working for Tesla, is working for Google, is working for Meta, and earning, doing AI jobs like annotation, labeling, and all this. So for the challenge of resourcing this, one of the solutions that government is offering collectively is for members of parliament to partner using a fund that is very effective called NGCDF to make these hubs operational. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Probably before we go to the next round of questions, there was a question around government is moving digital. A question around Maisha Card, and how then do we ensure that as government pushes some of this solution, that also services are aligned to it. The question around, I have a card, but the bank is not willing to use as a means of identification. PS, I don't know whether you'd wish to pick up that, and the question about expiry of the such documents as well. Thank you.
Thank you. The questions are really engaging. One is about the readiness of the country to be a digital government. I would say, as a country, we are ready. We are ready to be a digital government. And secondly, we are ready to facilitate acceleration of connectivity and realization of a digital government, a digital society in the shortest time possible. We have a lot of efforts that have been put in making Kenya ready. Some of them were done many years ago, including the work done by Member of Parliament of Ainabkoi, Honorable Samuel Chepkonga. He was, let's clap for him. He laid some of the foundations that communications, that CCK, worked with government and facilitated the establishment of the first submarine cable connecting Kenya and the rest of the world, which is Mombasa to Fujairah. That laid the first connectivity. And the rest is history. We have now 7 cables with huge capacity. Now we are doing the one connecting to the rest of the country, and somebody was saying, what about the villages? We will reach there. We will reach there in terms of connectivity. And the remaining work we need to address, you talk about the Maisha Card and the banks and the others. We're already using digital tools to transact in our banks. Many of us are using our phones now. Hardly do you find somebody going to the bank. The best maybe you can go is to an ATM, and you are using also the card. And if you check that ATM card, because it's technology control, even the ATM card you have, it has an expiry limit. It's not about your citizenship, it's about the technology, and it's about controls. We aim to make sure that the digital space is very safe. I know many people have had an incident or know somebody who has experienced a fraud in the digital space. There is something they're calling reverse social engineering. Somebody makes a call to you and takes you to a point you reveal some information that they use to defraud you. Those are some of the things we are addressing to make sure the digital space is safe. The initiatives like Maisha Card and many others are aimed at making the digital space more secure and more safe. And some of the tools and technologies embedded, like the chip as you mentioned, are time limited, not because of anything, because of the tools available now. If you say that's a tool that can be for life, by maybe 3 years later or 4 years later, there are other solutions that makes that card so easy for somebody to steal your money. So you must control by putting a timeline when that card must be replaced, because it's expected by that time there will be new technologies that are required to secure your infrastructure. We're still looking at how to work with more ecosystem, and I think in the next few months you'll be seeing more progress on that ecosystem so that we can facilitate e-commerce. We can make sure with that card you can transact better. So there's a lot of initiatives going on to make it better. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, PS. When we'll be answering the next questions, round of questions, probably we can address around interviews, physical interviews versus online interviews. But I would like to give the opportunity my sister relating to diaspora matters on protecting our fellow citizens abroad. And then Professor Chepken, you can also be ready on the question on open university. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to categorically state that there are some mandates that we execute in liaison with the Ministry of Labor and Skills Development. There are those that we execute as diaspora affairs. So there are two issues that I would really not commit because they are actually executed by the Ministry of Labor and Skills Development. Okay, number one, we do protect the rights and welfares of Kenyans abroad. Why? Because they have to be comfortable. They have to be safe so that as a country, we can also reap from their remittances, and also they can also add to the process of national building. We have had distress calls, and indeed we have answered to most of those distress calls through our various missions in the various countries abroad. But we do insist on the following. Number one, even if you are in the village, you are at mashinani level, somebody comes to you and tells you, I have been offered a job in Saudi. Inquire and get the agency that has recruited this person, so that when we know the agency, we'll normally visit www.naims.go.ke, because some of these have expired, they don't have licenses. So it is also an information on you to be always alert. People will come to you with messages, I need 50 drivers, I need 50. Can you verify the source of that information? And then in addition to the same, recruitment is normally done by the Ministry of Labor through National Employment Authority, which is a saga under the Ministry of Labor and Skills Development. And it is the same NEA that licenses these private recruitment agencies. So normally we've always carried sensitization campaigns through job fairs, through town halls. We recently had a job fair in Vihiga. We are soon holding Mheshimiwa. We are coming for a town hall meeting in Dagoretti. So we've been doing this sensitization, and we'll be going around the entire country sensitizing our people. So don't trust any agency. In case you come across any name or any agency, kindly write to us, write to the Principal Secretary, Diaspora Affairs, so that we can help you investigate the agency. Thank you. Now, number two, there was an issue of the job opportunities given, interviews on diaspora jobs by CS Mutua. Okay, as I said earlier, some of the mandate is executed by the Ministry of Labor, and I may not actually comment on that because most of these recruitment drives are done by the National Employment Authority, and the whole process is digital. It is online. So other issues are on the same, I may not be able to comment, but where we have a structured labor mobility in terms of a bilateral labor agreement or a memorandum of understanding, normally we follow the structured channels. For instance, if they want skilled, maybe skilled masons or plumbers, we liaise with our TVET institutions. They give us the best candidates who follow the right procedure, with us overseeing the process and approving the job orders, and the whole process runs on very well. So I would wish that in case of any issue on diaspora jobs, please write to us, please contact us so that we can be able to respond on that. Then number three, there was an issue of an expired visa. Now again, when an individual is offered a diaspora job, look, normally these agencies will give you a contract to sign. Look at the visa. Is it going hand in hand with your job contract? You've been offered a job for 2 years. Look at the visa. Is the visa covering that period? Normally some of these agencies are also crafty. They'll give you a tourist visa instead of a work visa. So it is always good to be vigilant. You know, we say at the end of the day, all this comes up to the individual. The individual should also take that responsibility and read any document before you append your signature. Are we together? Yeah, thank you so much.
I feel one of the questions was not answered. The second one, I don't think it was answered right. Based on the question somebody asked, how come the 7,000 jobs, the interviews were only done in Nairobi? Is it Kabeto or KICC actually? I saw a huge line in KICC. What happens to the thousands of us who really need these jobs and would have been able, why couldn't it have been, diversified and be done even like here in Eldoret and regions where people can be able to get there? It was one opportunity that the young people need to have been able to access. Sorry that I'm in government, but I have to ask you this question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you so much. It is true.
Proceed.
It is true. Normally, there is need to be fair, and we are also looking at regional representation in the country. But I want to say, sir, that I come from the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, not the State Department, not the Ministry of Labor. So that's why I started by saying some of the mandate we execute in liaison. So for this particular mandate is not ours, but it is for the Ministry of Labor. I hope that is okay.
And just to spare you, I thought you had an answer. I'd requested that the team up front will answer that in the next round of. So please, the answer she gave was correct relating to diaspora engagement, but then the online conversation of physical and online interviews it will be addressed by the panelists, so that then how we get to know how to progress. Thank you.
And one more thing about the expired visas. Normally we do conduct campaigns, or rather a drive, to be able to facilitate the renewal of travel documents for our Kenyans abroad. So we advise that Kenyans abroad who have such issues should liaise with the mission, so that we normally conduct mobile consular services where some of those expired documents can be renewed in liaison with the Department of Immigration. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Professor Chepken, be precise and brief so that we can move to the next round of questions. And most importantly, why is it not free?
Thank you very much. Our guests, PS Engineer Tanui, our members of parliament, private sector partners, and government officers. I'll be precise and straight to the point. Number one, do we have higher national diploma? We have postgraduate diploma. Higher national diploma was an old route when universities were not able to admit people who had done diploma. So we have postgraduate diploma. Why is it not free? That's a very good question. Very good question indeed. Number one, these machines are not operating themselves. So there is somebody behind. Somebody talked about 2 people who will be sitting in the Huduma Center or wherever it is, the local innovation centers. Those 2 people need salary. So the people who work at the university, they need salary. Nevertheless, this university is 30% of the total cost of a university education. If you look around, Bachelor of Data Science will cost you close to between 250 to 450 to 500,000. We do 105,000 at the Open University of Kenya. So we just get the money just to maintain the systems and pay the people who work there. There are lecturers who develop this content. I did mention that we don't have enough of our own lecturers. We get experts from all over the world. We need to pay them to develop content, to maintain this content, and of course, maintain the system. Now, I think I also like something about mindset changing, because you do not expect that everything will go online and education will remain physical. I think you need to think about that very seriously. If your money is going online, what else can't go online? I think that is the bottom line. So I think going forward, we will still need to continue education in terms of why we are paying, but we are not profit making at all. 30% of the total cost of all the other universities, you can pay in installments. We don't tell anybody to leave our classes because they have not paid. That must be very clear. Installments, we have people who did the exams, they haven't paid anything. Thank you very much. Because of time, let me stop there.
Thank you very much, Prof. You are indeed precise. If you just want to pay 30% of fees and graduates, go to Open University of Kenya. Thank you very much. Round ya mwisho ya maswali. Tutaanza ndugu yetu mwenye ako na jacket. He left you can stand and then we can have a microphone. One question, so that we are very brief. One question only per person. We will be taking questions. And I request the panelists in the next round, I will give you a chance to answer the question that you consider best for you as you give your final remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Sami Mukienei. Sama umeshimua karibu achieve swali ambaye nilikuwa nimeprepare, but I wanted him to be very specific, especially on the creation of ward hubs to assist the young people at the ward levels. In terms of timelines agreed on the issues of construction and ensuring that those facilities are equipped and also functionality of those facilities. The timelines that the members of parliament have agreed on how they will come up with those ICT centers within those levels. Ya mwisho, nashukuru kwa sababu naona ya kwamba the digital economy is creating jobs to the young people. But the question is this: is the government now planning for the kids in the primary schools to interact with the ICT knowledge as they grow towards this economy of the digital economy? Is there any plan? And how soon is that plan realized?
Asante sana. Tuende kwa ndugu yetu pale. Swali moja. Okay.
Nami kuna swali nauliza moja. Na imenikasa nikikaa chini. Ni kutokana leba mwenye naongelea juu ya kasi yenye iko Nairobi. Niko nauliza simuende mwa advice kidogo hata tupata kidogo Eldoret. Tuko na vijana wengi. Kuliko ende Dagoretti nasikie imeenda huko yote. Simu tulete hata kidogo ikae bande hii hata sisi tuserekee. Ni hayo tu.
Asante. Majina?
Machini Levare ni Nyeundi.
Okay. Asante Reverend Nyeundi. Next, him, yes, and then the two, and we will close there.
Thank you. My name is Ronald Deuma. I'm from Langas. I represent Vijana Nguzo Initiative. I would like to continue from where my senior, Mzee amewachia. Ameuliza ya kwamba what measures are there in place to ensure that our young brothers and sisters in primary schools also interact with this ICT as far as digital concerned. Now, let me also put across a concern by asking or bringing across this into your attention that 12 or 10 years ago, there was a program that was launched, and it was to ensure that our brothers who are by that one, some were in nursery schools, were supplied with laptops. 14 years or 10 years, 12 years down the line, project never come to an end or to a success. How can you assure us that whatever today you are bringing on board, in the next 30 years or in the next 10 years, we won't come again complaining and making requirements or inquiries of how much money was that had been pumped into the project was utilized, and was it a success? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ndugu yangu wa maroon jacket, alafu tutamaliza na ndugu yetu wa miwani pale kona. Asante sana. They will call for gender will come after him. Then I will see whether there's a lady. I've seen a lady.
Thank you. My name is Henry Kibet Kosgei, a small village called Chalgui, Ainapkoi constituency. I have only one question or two. First of all, we know government are dealing subsidizing fertilizer. You are telling us we go digital. We need government. Why does government subsidize these electronics or gadget, ICT gadget, so that our youth can access? Because these youth are not employed. Actually, some of us graduated around 6 years ago. We have no job. Our job is just wanasema nini mjengo, kwa sababu hiyo ndio serikali imeleta imetuandika kasi. So naomba ikiwezekana government to subsidize these gadgets so that we can access internet. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our brother, is there a brother? Yes. Apologies. Proceed and then we come to our sister with the hat.
Sawa, mimi naendanga haraka kabisa. First of all, my name is Austin Byron, or you can call me the Deep State. I'm from Siaya County. Actually, I'm going to be the Senate at 2027 in that county. My question is this. We have a social media platform. Na bado tunaogopa kuchukua data za watu. It operates like a normal social media. So wale watu wa policy tunaomba, kuna regulation yenye, ama niseme kuna policy yenye itaona vibaya tukianza kuchukua data za users. By the way, it is very sophisticated than those social media platforms that you know. Lastly, this is not a question. To the members of parliament, tunaomba tafadhali, table a bill in parliament, waangalie venye maneno yote inazafunzwa from primary school. Because those big giant countries, those big giant economy, those economies are driven by people between the age of 10 and 30. Na sasa hapa hivi tunafunzwa sijui River Nile, who discover Lake Victoria, sijui nini, they are teaching their useless stuffs. So members of parliament, that issue should be discussed in the National Assembly instead on who should go and who should not go. Thank you.
A quick one, Austin, while you have the microphone, so that the ODPC person can respond. What type of data are you talking about that you want to take?
Oh, there's lots of data. Kuna kuna zingine user ndiye anapeana, like username na vitu zingine, na kuna zingine zinachukuliwa na the system. So before we upload system kutumika, hatutaki shida na serikali, because hii inaenda kukua kubwa. In fact, it's the best.
Asante sana, dada yangu. And I'll give one more lady after her. Introduce yourself, and then you proceed with your question.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. To the government leadership and the private sector present and everyone else, my name is Faith Diligence. I am a young entrepreneur and a very recent content creator on TikTok with special focus on financial education, wealth creation, and entrepreneurship. My question, I think it cuts across the board, both to the government and the private sector. How can we collaborate, we as young people, because I believe that we have some of the solutions that even the government is looking for. How can we collaborate with both the government and the private sector to drive digital transformation and bridge the divide, particularly in underserved areas? How can we partner and collaborate with both the government and the private sector in terms of bridging the digital divide as young people. Thank you.
Asante sana, Faith. Any lady, I would wish you can stand. Yes, yes. Just in front of the camera. Stand, and then you'll make the second last question.
Fine. So I'm Maureen Kitur, a software engineer from Ainabkoi constituency. And my question goes to, first I would like to applaud the founder and CEO, Eldo Hub. It's really a great work. So in terms of, we know that in tech, women in tech, we have a lot of challenges. We have syndrome, we have imposter syndrome. And on that, given that the impact of imposter syndrome on women in tech, will the county government consider having, maybe implementing a program to provide mentorship and confidence building? Because we've seen that in a company of maybe 70 engineers, we have only 3 ladies who are engineers there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have one more as we become diverse. We have one question from KSL, so that you could get the microphone to our translator, so that using the sign language we can get a question. Felix? Okay, proceed.
Hello, I'm Joshua To, and I'm deaf. My question goes to Open University. For example, I want to study in your university. I want to enroll. Is there an interpreter, or if I enroll, I won't get any interpreter because we normally use sign language? And KSL is a must, so that's my question to you.
Thank you very much. I can give the eye table if they have one question. The front row, one question. Okay. I can get my brother there. Felix, just in front of you. We will have done justice to the sampler. Proceed, tell us who you are.
Thank you. My name is Kimutai Chililim, by extension, the first son of this county. And my question is on matters agriculture. It's an agricultural county, and I've not had someone ask what ICT can do for us in agriculture. So question number 1 is on data-driven farming solutions. How is the ICT department supporting the development of data-driven solution, like predictive analysis, to help farmers improve crop yields and manage risks? And also, are there plans to create or support platforms that provide real-time weather, soil, and market data specifically tailored for this country, Kenya? And also on agri-fintech solution for financial access for farmers. How is ICT department supporting fintech solutions that allow farmers easier access to loans, savings, insurance, tailored specifically to agriculture? And do you have a partnership with financial tech companies to create lending solutions that consider seasonality and the unique cash flow of farming? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much. That marks the end of our round of questions. I'll take one there and one here. Thank you very much. Yes, you can proceed. Final. Kindly, because of time, so that we get responses.
Thank you. I am Peter Meli. And you realize that munatufinya sisi walemavu sana. So our person must be given. So tusistrain sana. You are the government.
Asante.
Okay, I wanted to ask the question to the peers that which mechanism have you put in place to ensure that us people living with disability can access more so education in easy way, because you find that ECT is favorable to us. More so when we want to learn, we can do it online, because you find our institutions are not favorable to us. More so somebody like me using a wheelchair. So which mechanisms have you put in place to make sure it favors us to have and good learning? That's my question.
Thank you very much. I am also informed we have one more question from KSL as well, so that we have diversity as well. Thank you, Peter, for that question. Proceed, you can interpret and translate for us.
Good afternoon. Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Titus Wafula. Okay, I'm a student at a college, Cambridge. I would love to ask some question. We have challenges, we as students, concerning ICT. We have been in villages, and when maybe we're having exams, accessing data or internet is very crucial. So we were requesting if the government maybe could support these students who are in the villages and love to learn through internet, be supported. Thank you, God bless.
Thank you very much, Wafula. Now you understand why I accepted to extend those questions. I will then come up front to our panelists. I'll begin with my brother Michael. You can pick a set of questions and probably be able to address even as you make your final remarks. Kindly, because of time, kila mtu atahitaji, wacha tujibu haya ikiwa. Okay, all right. Let's have that last one, and because of time, the more questions you have, the likelihood that they will not be answered. Thank you. Be able to address the questions that have been asked, the better. Yep. So let's have that as the final question, kindly.
Thank you. I am Samuel from Tarbo. First, I want to ask about labor, Ministry of Labor. Is this exporting of our labor tenable? And how is our government ready to harness our skills instead of exporting? The second one. The second one is on PCLCB. What is that betting platform? Or those board that controls betting. Betting has killed our Gen Zs and our millennials. Can the parliament pass a bill to limit betting? Tuweke kama mtu anaweza bet na limit ya 1,000. Mtu anaweka 100,000. Alafu ndege inaamuka ina meza yote. So, the first thing, before tumalizane ya Kashagwa, our MPs, please save our generation from betting.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. In case you still have a question, kindly, we have shared an email where you can...
This is one question concerning the county, and I can't just sit that one to let it pass. Because you've talked about collaboration, especially with the institutions like LDOAP, Open University of Kenya, and many others. In the previous regime, I know there was some collaboration between the county government and specific institutions. And I remember one between county government of Uasin Gishu and Egerton University. And the other one was with Rift Valley, this technical institution, where the county government was actually supporting some students to acquire education there with some small kitty from, I think it was approved by the county assembly. The lady that she seated there, I don't know, she's an MCA, she said she's the vice chair of ICT. I don't know what you are going to do about that. to ensure that we are having that support, because most of these people here are lacking actually enabling to get that kind of ICT training that we require in this current time. So if we get that, I think most of the people watakuwa so they'll be very fortunate to acquire those skills with the support from the county government. Yeah, the other one, I think somebody was raising a concern to Open University of Kenya. He was asking if they accept help. And the third one is for KJ. We've seen the way you are rushing things with issues of Kashagwa, issue of ICT hubs. I think we had it earliest in 2022. Why is it that right now, haijapitishwa? I think you need to put your priorities correctly.
Thank you for your question. Kindly, let's have the microphone forward. Kindly.
How about the children? How safe are our children? Especially now that we have access to internet services through these hubs. How safe are the children to materials that are unwarranted, that are uncouth to children under the age of 18 years? And finally, when I came here, I saw the theme that it is a key to opportunities in digital economy. And now that I know my friend from Open University, maybe anisponsor nisomee cyber security, nipigiwe mfano huku Uasin Gishu, wajue kumbe kuna online university ina exist huku Kenya. Finally, to Chepkonga. Chepkonga is a good friend of mine. We almost did something with a friend of mine called Bob Tanu sometime. So now that I'm a chemical engineer, graduated but jobless. So maybe ile hub ya kwanza imefunguliwa kwa INAB kwa nikuje nifunze vijana hii mambo na digital economy. Asante.
Asante sana. Thank you very much. Because of time, I know all of us would wish to ask questions. That marks the end of our questions. However, I would wish if you have any question, feel free to submit to the email that we've shared there or on our social handles, and we will have capable responses from our team online. We will surely go online so we can interact further and much more online. Coming back to our panelists, probably there was a hot question from the county. I would wish Mheshimiwa Mercy Chepkirui to begin, then we'll come back to you, Michael, even as you make your closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll start with your question on partnerships. I'm happy that our chief officer is seated right here. So as you ask the question, he's taking it down. What happens is we've been partnering with the different organizations that trained the youth, but moving forward, as you have said, you would want to see universities. That is something that we can write down as a policy. It can come to the county assembly. Our only challenge, and I can say today, is the allocation of funding towards the Department of ICT. So if we sit down as an assembly and ensure that there's enough money for the chief officer and that department to set up these trainings, then we'll go far. So that is something that we're working towards, ensuring that the department has money to do the training. I'll answer the question of the lady who talked about imposter syndrome and women in tech. I'm a very big supporter of women entering the places that is, male dominated, and this is to you, Chief Officer. Kindly ensure that we have a training of more women that is sponsored by the county government, that you can invite our partners to come and do the training, but the county has sponsored the activity so that we have the women being many when joining these activities. My last parting shot is I would love for you guys to actually engage with the Department of ICT, engage with the county assembly, bring forth your petitions, bring forth your ideas, your desires, so that the department and ourselves at the assembly, we can know how to assist you people, right? So do not shy away from coming to the assembly, from visiting the office of the county, to make sure that you're heard, you're listened to, and your grievances are shared. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. Michael, you can tell us more about Google and what they are doing as you respond to the questions asked as well.
Thank you very much. On subsidizing devices, actually you don't have to worry too much, to stress PS too much about that. If you have a Safaricom line, you dial *544#, and you'll get an option to get into a program called Lipa Mdogo Mdogo, and with a deposit of as little as 500 shillings and 20 daily payments, you get to own a smartphone. So PS, we've covered that. But of course, I'm sure PS will answer. On training for primary schools also, we are partnering with PS and the Ministry of Education here to bring a course called Experience AI in primary schools. You can actually, it's free, the content is there already. If you look for Experience AI, you can even ask your teacher, the teacher of the school that you know near you, if they know about Experience AI. They don't need any permission from Google or from the government to start teaching that. But of course, they need to align, of course, with KSED. So we are working with KSED, and we're working with a number of partners to be bringing this to schools. And then finally, on content creators, the question from Faith. Earlier there were presenters here from Ganjisha, from Africa Digital Media Institute, who we have sponsored to carry out training of content creators across the country, and they said that the training is happening here in the library. So we are, and actually they are complaining that for this area they've only trained 68. So please take up that opportunity and take on the training that is being offered to move from just being a mere content creator to actually being one who can monetize and earn online. Thank you so much. That's my closing remarks, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Right. Maybe you can tell us more. I don't know whether you have made presentation about Google.
Yes,
you did.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Professor Chepken, you can be picking your mic around Open University and access to education for Kenya Sign Language. As you get your mic, I would wish to hear from Inua AI as they respond to the question also that have been asked. You can tell us more about what Inua AI is doing to support this course. Thank you.
One, two. Yeah. So Inua AI, we started off in, I'll just be quick, in 2018. That's when we founded the company. When the idea behind it was impact sourcing. So we wanted to go out and, provide jobs to the marginalized communities that were earning below $1, rate. But something came to us, and we say, like, many of the people, BPOs, are actually focusing on entry-level jobs, level 1 jobs. So we wanted to go out and look for jobs that are the second level. So you're looking at cybersecurity, software engineering, you're looking at professional services in sales, marketing, product development, IT, accountants. In fact, next year we'll be recruiting around 40 working for international organizations, just in accounting. We'll also be recruiting around 50 project managers and field project coordinators working for multiple companies across the world. So just watch out for those opportunities as well. So the idea basically behind this is we want to create a sustainable business, and at the same time, we are looking at creating sustainable employment so that one day you won't wake up and say, like, hey, my job is gone. So there's not really much impact, but we're giving you an opportunity to grow in your career, but you're actually embedded within those companies. So we have a couple of us, like five of us working for Tesla in cybersecurity. Their career is just there. So they are the ones to choose whether they want to be there or grow. So somebody talked about sustainability of the centers that are being built by the ministry. And the reason why we are coming in as a private sector is to create that sustainability, build that ecosystem within the university. So we are going to adopt multiple centers. We're going to employ the young people there. The idea is to give them first-hand, like experience with the digital jobs, and later on, we can train them to grow into the professional services field, and then leave those slots for other people to come in. So they get to go to work from home and earn good money. Like we have people for example, in cybersecurity that will earn up to $5,000. That's a lot of money, just do the conversions. And they're working from home. Entry-level cybersecurity, for us, it's 120,000 Kenya shillings. You finish university, you only have 6 months internship program. You're earning good money. So opportunities are there, and on the issue of sustainability, private sector is coming in. We're building an ecosystem. We are also working with the TVETs to build businesses around it. So we build multiple Inuas. We won't use the name Inuas, but we just use that as an example because we have one of our branches within United States International University with just a similar kind of a setup. So my take will be on the sustainability of the business. But the opportunities are there. I wish we actually asked more about how do we get the digital jobs, how do we go in there, but that will be for another session. Somebody talked about collaboration. I'll still go back there and say, like, it's something that I've mentioned to the CS, the PS Tanui, and I think it's important for us to understand, like, the future of work is all about collaboration. We can't run away from it. We'll bring our resources together as individuals and do that. Same thing, like the company, Inua AI, we've brought different people together with different talents, and that's why we're able to be who we are, and that's why we are successful in that field. And for you to be successful, again, the other thing is, one of the things that we need to teach ourselves, and maybe even within the technical universities, or we start teaching from high school, will be communication, presentation skills, and relationship management. That is key. Right now, we don't actually go a lot out to do marketing, sales. We get referrals because of the relationship that we have with our clients. So that is very key. I think I'll end up there because of time.
Thank you very much, Humphrey. Professor Chepken, kindly pick up the question around how would Open University support people who are able differently, be it KSL or disabled.
Thank you very much. Again, I'll be very quick. Number one, I'm very excited because we have been being asked every now and then to tell whoever the number of people living with disabilities, because one key principle we live with is inclusivity. I'm excited because after here, I have my officers. I need all those guys who had challenges to register with Open University of Kenya. The other details we'll deal with. We have a project with USAID, and one person who is running that project is deaf, and he gave us conditions. We must gather for these people. What are we doing? We are trying to look at technology, at the same time look at conventional means of assisting these people. So that is taken care of if Open University of Kenya is here and these guys are here. So Ezra and team kindly register them. The last thing that I just want to take is the online learning for people living with disabilities. Again, when we are asked what is this inclusivity, we keep saying there are people who are required to join university in 80s, 90s, 2000s, but because they could not travel to Nairobi because of their state at that time, they have to go to university now with their grades that time. That is Open University of Kenya. Again, register, we will deal with the other issues. Don't worry, because when we requested for permission from council to make sure that registration is free for this week,
So for now, register for free, you get your invoice, we will deal with the invoice later on, so long as you put there people, a person living with disability. Finally, because of time, a friend of mine there, he called me his friend, so I'm his friend. He said he wants to register for cybersecurity so that he can become our ambassador, and then he's asking for scholarship. Let me say this, as an educationist, scholarships don't come before you become a student. It's very rare. I think there is one thing that we don't know. Scholarships come when you are already a student. So if you're waiting for a scholarship so that you register, it is the other way around. So register, say I need scholarship after registration. We'll be able to figure out something within that area. Lastly, as I bring the mic, there's somebody again who sent an SMS and said, why is it that we have our data science course as the same cost as another university? And let me answer it this way. We benchmarked a good data science course per year costs between 250,000 and 500,000. We said ours is 105,000. Anything else is something else. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else is nothing. So, Prof, for my sake, so that we proceed with the other conversation, I'm giving you two candidates, Joshua Tor, Peter Meli, and Titus Wafula. Thank you. It is confirmed that they are already enrolled at Open University of Kenya. So thank you very much. That is courtesy of Mheshimiwa and PS. And the two of them are for KSL, and the other one is our brother who is on wheelchair. Thank you very much. So those are the first fruits. Na hii mambo tumesema ni kujituma. Sasa tumetuma watatu. I hope the rest of us watajituma pia. As I don't know whether Amos is still here from yes. So Amos, I would wish you to pick as my sister Chepkemoi prepares to make final remarks, the question around data that our brother asked relating to a social media platform that was hosted, and what would be your advice for use of data from online platforms? Amos is from ODPC.
Thank you very much. My name again is Amos Koske. I'm the head of ICT at the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, and I'm here to represent the Commissioner. So in the morning, we had actually made a presentation on what the role of Office of the Data Protection Commissioner does in terms of unlocking the digital opportunities. And I would like again to, in terms of responding to the question, we understand that there are quite a number of digital platforms out there. So in terms of how the Data Protection Act is structured, I can say it's one of the facilitative and enabling frameworks to ensure that in as much as we interact in the ICT ecosystem, we apply what we call rules of engagement. In every undertaking is guided by the rules. So the Data Protection Act, in as much as it empowers the citizen, who is basically called the data subject, by providing the rights to the person, again, it facilitates innovation. And our approach as the office, we are not the conventional regulator. We use the regulatory perspective as well as the innovative and enabling perspective. So in one of the ways that we ensure that we facilitate innovation by creating a secure ecosystem, we offer advisories to organizations who might want to engage the citizen in terms of processing their data. The Act doesn't prohibit the processing of the data, but it tells us that the processing should be done in accordance with the provisions of the Act as well as the Constitution of Kenya. Apart from the advisories that the office does, we do what we call the sector-specific guidance notes, and there are quite a number of them that we've developed for specific sectors. We also open to engaging you in terms of what we call data protection impact assessments. Before you undertake any initiative that is deemed to be high risk, the office is open to guide you on how you are able to minimize those risks, so that at the end of the day, there is what we call the legal assurance and protection from what might come later whenever there's a breach in terms of not complying with the Data Protection Act. And finally, in the spirit of making services closer to Mwananchi, we have our office here in Eldoret. We are currently based at Huduma Center, and we have officers who are able to guide. It's an open office. Anytime that you feel that you want to consult, we are open, and soon we should be moving to the newly established office, which is based at Daima Towers. And again, our platforms are there. You go to odpc.go.ke. There are quite a number of insightful information on our website. You are also able to reach out to us at the head office directly for further engagement. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amos, for that advice. Austin, you are now well advised before you use data. Otherwise, ensure that you get guidance from the Office of Data Protection. Our sister Chepkemoi, please, you can respond to a number of questions that were asked as you make your final remarks. And as you make, I would wish CEO Konza, Paul Okwiri, you get prepared to also make some remarks. And our communication lead from the ministry, you'll also make remarks before we come to Eshimio. Also get prepared before we finalize upstage. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will take the question on the kids and internet. I will also take about the question about collaboration and speak about what Maureen talked about in women in STEM. And maybe someone takes the agriculture one. I was a bit passionate about it, but I'll pass that. And then I'll give the closing remarks and also share some of the programs that we are currently launching at Eldo Hub. So starting with the kids program, someone asked, is the government planning for the kids to interact with the coding as well as also in the digital economy? And also, of course, basic education. I think also we are competing globally. And you know, you can imagine our kids are competing with kids who started coding at the age of 8. They have already started launching game development. They are already monetizing when they are very young. Yet ours also are not as competitive. So Eldo Hub has a solution for that. And also someone talks about safeguarding, and you know, in this environment that they are learning. Safeguarding, I think it's very important. So Eldo Hub has a program for the kids. We have Eldo Hub Kids and Teens program, where we train young people to learn how to code as young as 8 to 17 years. We prepare you and train your young kid to understand coding, understand, you know, game development. We have robotics, and we are very much well equipped, so your child can really learn. And we go further to also teach them about online safety, because these kids interact with phones at the age of 6 months. I can assure you, parents nowadays give their children phones to maybe watch or maybe to make them busy as they do their one or two things. So they interact with these phones and devices when they are very young. So we have a program where we've developed online safety for both parents as well as also the young kids, for them to understand online safety. And in 2020, we worked with Google through Africa Code Week and online safety, just to teach and sensitize people about online safety. So we are leveraging on the content that is provided by Google to ensure that, you know, these kids understand all this. So that's about the kids and teens program. And also for the entrepreneur faith, a young entrepreneur, I can understand you. I've walked through the journey of being an entrepreneur. It's not easy. Some people say they want to quit jobs so that, you know, they get into entrepreneurship. It will be flexible. You know, they will be doing things at their own time and all that. But I can assure you, entrepreneurship, sometimes you need 72 hours in a day because there's a lot of things to be done. So sometimes you have to survive as an entrepreneur. Sometimes you have to see, what is the best sustainable model that can continue running, your business. And there are different stages of an entrepreneur. When you are still starting, you don't know even what exactly what do you want. You don't know what model do you want to go with. And you have all these ideas and everything. And then in the stage where the next stage is development stage, where you know now, at least this is what I want, this is what the market wants, and then the scalability. And all those stages has its own challenge. But the most important thing that I can advise you as an entrepreneur is you have to get a problem that people are willing to pay for you to solve their problem. And that's, someone will be able to pay you. That's where it starts. And sometimes people start businesses because they were looking for grants, I don't know, they're looking for what, but it starts with someone is ready to pay you. So you need to figure out from there, and I'm happy, ready to collaborate with you. I'm not from government, I'm from the private sector. I'm ready to hear what you have to say. And of course, finally, Maureen, thank you, Maureen, for acknowledging the effort. And once again, I've been a woman in STEM since when I graduated, and I was employed at Telcom, and I was among the two women who have been in the department where I was working. I was working as a transmission engineer. And of course, it is not easy. It is not easy to be a woman in science, technology, and engineering. And I remember at that time, that department didn't have ladies, so I used to go to teleposter towers for the ladies. So you can imagine, maybe when it was being designed, maybe it was never anticipated that women would work in that department. But the most important thing, it is not enough to be a woman. You have to be an expert in what you do. You have to be, it's not about being a woman. To be sustainable in this science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you just have to be good in what you do. And sometimes you have to prove to people that actually you are good in what you do. And I remember when I started my career, I was also struggling with imposter syndrome. And I'm a village girl. I grew up in the village. Going to town was a whole change for me. And going to offices where I'm required to speak and I'm required to give my opinion, and I used to keep my opinion to myself until one day I used to share my opinions to people, and they are like, hey. And when they share in meetings, they are uploaded, and it gets accepted. That's when I realized there's something that I need to relearn. And this is also to everyone. We need to always learn, and we need to always skill ourselves. So I started learning how to speak. I even joined Toastmasters Club, which is a public speaking club, just to teach myself on how to speak in front of people. So just to tell you, you are not alone. And sometimes that it's only you who is doubting yourself. People are actually look at you. When you speak, people see you and say, this girl is smart and all that. So it's just about believing in yourself and all that. And I totally agree. We need programs to support more girls to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And if you look at the first people who invented some of these technologies, computer science, Anita Book, Chris Hopper, all of them were women. And until men realized kuna opportunity hapa, and there is money and there is a lot of opportunities, that's when they came in. But then it was started by women. So it goes to say women can excel in this field. So let's have a discussion about that and see ways in which maybe we can also bring in other partners to see how programs, maybe with the county, our MCA has talked about that. We are very happy, and maybe Google could support this. Yeah. Yes, so my closing remarks, I don't know if I've answered all of them. So my closing remarks is I want to ask some few questions to all of you. Out of 54 million Kenyans, how many people are employed by government? How many, even in percentage? How many? Yeah? 3 million. You said 3 million? And how many do you think are employed by the private sector? another maybe 2 million. And you can imagine out of the 54 million. So I think it is about time we start restructuring and use that skill that you have. If you are good in graphic design, why don't you launch a business out of it? If you are good in content creation, why don't you monetize? Instead of sitting at home for 3 to 4, someone said they have stayed at home for 6 years looking for a job. Why don't you do that? And we have different programs at Eldo Hub to help you with that. And those of you who don't have a skill yet, please make sure that you reskill. And you know, these things keep changing. So you have to skill, reskill, and make sure you know what, you have a skill that can help you to launch a business. So check our Eldo Hub Academy. We have different programs where we train you on the latest tools and technologies. And we don't stop at that. We have job creation program where we transition you to the industry. We have business coaching and mentorship and digital transformation. And just in conclusion, this county is known for athletics. Maybe to our chair, PS understand this environment. So our county is known for athletics and mostly marathon. And you know, when you are running a marathon, it requires endurance, persistence, and all that, you know, training classic. If you ask our Elliot, he will tell you how it is that, you know, they put in a lot of effort. It is the same case when you are building your career. It is the same case when you are building a business. A business also requires that endurance and persistence. But I don't know why we don't use that culture that we have of endurance to build these businesses that could actually create opportunities for us. So we are running a tech run. A tech run is how can we infuse the culture of athletics in Kenya to actually encourage innovation and entrepreneurship. So we are doing it in the 1st of December to the 3rd of, so on the 1st of December, it is happening on the 1st to the 3rd of December, and that's why we are saying all these things starts with a tech run. And that's why we are starting with a tech run on that day, and then the 2 days will follow with an Eldoret Investors Forum, Eldoret City Investors Forum, where we will invite, of course, the Ministry of ICT. I hope, Chair, you'll be able also to make it, and everyone else to join us for the tech run.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Eldo Hub, can we give a round of applause? I wish to give 30 seconds each. CEO Konza to make closing remarks, and then Honorable Charles Sowino, and then Honorable Bernard Kitu, and we'll close with Honorable Chepkonga.
Thank you, MC Bole. Good evening. Good evening. So in Konza, we are establishing a smart city, and we are working hard to ensure that we develop that city the way it's supposed to be done. It is going to be the first smart city in Kenya and in sub-Saharan Africa, and we are very proud of it. And now we are in our second strategic plan, which is talking about accelerating the impact of the Technopolis. Mheshimiwa, our chair, will talk about Konza Technopolis Bill, which is currently in Parliament, and it is envisioning establishing more of Technopolises in the region. So we will not only have Konza Technopolis in Konza, the location, but we'll also be able to establish more Technopolises even here in Uasin Gishu. So our hope is that we take advantage of the opportunities that will come with Konza Technopolis being the Africa Silicon Savannah, and all the opportunities that will come with it, including these digital hubs and the Jitume Digital Enablement Program, which is establishing a platform which we can be able to establish 1 million jobs in the next 3 to 4 years. So that is the parting shot I would like to leave you up with, and just to pray that let's work together, as Konza Technopolis will always be in the lead in this digital transformation and ensuring that we achieve the digital superhighway. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Charles Sowino. 30 seconds.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, thank you so much for having taken your time to come and be with us in this town hall meeting. You are quite resilient, and I've seen all of you sit. My name is Charles Owino. I head the National Communication Center. It's a new center that is domiciled under the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy. Our main duty is to reposit and deposit information for government and undertake advisory to all government ministries and departments. That is majorly what we do. And you have just been told that the government can only, out of a population of over about 21 million, a population of job seekers, people looking for jobs, government and private sector can only absorb about 2.9 million or 3 million. And every year, we are releasing almost 1 million people into the workforce. And that is why this is a very important session for you. It's an important session for you in the sense that ICT is an enabler that enables us to factor and activate all the pillars that government would intend to use to develop the country, whether it is health, whether it is agriculture, whether it is MSMEs, whether it is housing, and so on and so forth. And therefore, this department, under the guidance of our peers, we have a serious responsibility to ensure that the digital superhighway is in place and that each and every person will be able to access internet in one way or another. And that is why members of parliament are here, to ensure that in the constituencies we enable to have the constituency hubs. We have all the 1,450 ward hubs, and many other that are supposed to be there. And that is why the president was talking about 100,000 kilometers. So it is important that we keenly listen to this and think on how agriculture and informal sector can be utilized through the digital platform to ensure that all of you are productive to the economy. So we just want to wish you the best of luck. Take your time, participate in this. Government is putting all effort to ensure that every part of this country is, you are able to reach, you are able to access internet and be able to participate in developing the digital economy. So it's important that we follow this very keenly and we work together. Otherwise, as a sector, we have started through his department we are establishing a platform, the e-Baraza, which we are soon going to launch. Is a platform that you will get all information of all ministries, government, and so on and so forth. So very soon we will be able to launch it, and it has been developed by Konza Metropolis with the support of the PS, and we are going to support you. So keep on, get in touch with us, those who can get in touch with us. Ask as many questions as possible. I heard somebody saying that why government is not utilizing your skills, why export? It's not exporting. Employment opportunities are very minimal. And one of the areas that is now earning us high revenue is money that we are getting from diaspora, from people who are employed there, higher than even tourism. So we want to encourage you to take those jobs if opportunity arises. Otherwise, thank you so much. May God bless you, and when you go back safely.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bernard Kitu. Less than a minute. Thank you.
No, please correct that. Not less than a minute. I have one or two words to say. The PS present here today is the chief panelist, the chairman of Communication, Information and Innovation Committee in Parliament, Honorable Chege Kiari, Member of Parliament for Dakoreti South, the Member of Parliament for Ainapkoi, Samuel Chakonga, the distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. How are you? As you've heard, my name is Bernard Kitur, Member of Parliament for Nandi Hills constituency, and a practitioner as well of technology. And that is why I'm passionately here today.
Just one statement. There was a CEO of Nokia. One day he made a statement when it was being absorbed by Microsoft. And he said, we didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost. It is because, and upon saying that, all his management team, including himself, they all began shedding tears. One more thing is, in the year 2000, the biggest global brands of the world was led by Coca-Cola, and most of the companies that were then, General Electric, Ford, and such like. In the year 2010, half of them had been overtaken by tech companies. By 2024, none of them is in the top 20. What now is ruling the world is tech, big tech. The Apple, Microsoft, Google, TikTok, Facebook, Samsung, Amazon, and the rest. It so happens today that we are here, they call it the city of champions. And Uasin Gishu has taken the first shot to have a town hall meeting. Not only a town hall meeting, but a meeting where Google is represented. I was told Facebook, Meta was supposed to be here. Were they here? Oh, they didn't make to come because they had promised me they were coming here. All right, but I can tell you also Facebook had an interest to be here. All the actors of this technology are here. This tells you indeed, you are the city of champions. Now, you need to lead in technology for sure. I have one more statement to make as I address the city of champions. I was discussing with Chepkonga here, and I asked Chepkonga, when did the fiber optic land in Kenya? And he told me it's in the year 2000, PS. Fiber optic came to this country in the year 2000. And the fiber optic was from Mombasa all the way to Malaba. Fujairah to Mombasa. And then around that time as well, using the Kenya Power, the biggest power, and then the biggest 48 cable line inside there, went all the way to Malaba. From 2000, all the way to almost when the president of Kenya took over, is when now we are having this expansionary thing. For sure, there is one man that we need to appreciate in this country, if not for anything, the fact that we are here today, and that is the President William Ruto, because he's the one who has surely opened up the space of technology. Now, I have a challenge to the county government, having given you a lot of credit, the county government of Chelilim. I think we have passed, we are on the second reading, and I think you will be able to explain more on the Technopolis bill. I think this city of champions who are good in running, who are very good in all these other spaces, now we are actually on the apex, on all indications. We are on the upper apex of embracing and appreciating technology. I think you need to change your budgets and put more resources and do more partnerships between institutions like KPLC, because I'm thinking, this town, UTE, why can't we make it a more digital smart city, remove all the way-live costs, partner with private sector, and make sure there's cheap internet connectivity in this city. I say that passionately because I have had a conversation, Chairman and PS, of Swedish individuals who went to South Africa and reached out to a mayoral city. They engaged with them, facilitated, they used the backbone that is there, because you already have a backbone here, and a huge backbone that is in this town. The people who have actually stifled the Internet penetration and access is actually some of the selfish private sectors, whom up to date you still find internet is so expensive for no apparent reasons. So it's my wish that the county government, now that you are leading on this space, please, I want to encourage Governor Chelilim and the entire team. I can see you are here. Do more investment and partnership. Let's make this Eldoret the first absolutely smart digital city, even as we are going for the third reading in the soonest of time, and we will be able to have a bill that supports techno policies around the country. So you take that, be the first, this city is surely gonna change. And we're going to have many people. In fact, when I was seated here, the first person who made me really appreciate mambo ya social media na nikajua kweli kuna pesa, ni jamaa mwingine amekaa hapa. You see this fellow here? One day, I invited him to my small workshop mahali I had. Then I told him, my friend, now I'm doing something here. Can you please post this? So he did some posting, and I made so much money that he had to ask me every 2 months in my bag, and I actually sent him some money. So that is when I was able now to appreciate the power of internet and social media. And now PS has actually brought Facebook, who have over 3.8 billion users. Every day they say in Kenya, Wakenya wakiamuka tu kuona WhatsApp ni 20 million. Now, hawako tena kule US, na hawako Nairobi, ndio hii they were supposed to be in Eldoret. And I want to make sure they should actually come to Eldoret for sure. Ama namna gani? Let us embrace technology. The people of Eldoret, young people, let us embrace it. Even for me, some lady here said that look at a problem and create a solution. Hata mimi silali, 70% of my work, nafanya kazi ya my constituency. But also, I am an innovator. I am working out something that I'm telling you, I will shape this country on area politics in the very near future, in a big way. So let us all join hands together. I have enjoyed sitting here. I have learned so much from all of you. I wish we have more like this going forward. So with those much ado, I think next time also, I would wish that you invite PS. Bado tulete my investors kutoka pale. What I've noticed, there are so many innovators who are here. The biggest challenge is access to funding and financing. Ama namna gani? So we've had the meeting today. It has worked very well. The next time we have investors, in fact, there's a friend of mine who came from Dubai the other day. And in Dubai, they were hosting it was an innovation event. So in fact, even up and including the Emir who came there, because they were all appreciating so many international investors who just come to hear ideas that people have, and then they are able to fund them. So without much ado, I want to appreciate Uasin Gishu County, appreciate all of us who are here, and thank you very much, the Ministry of ICT. As I sit, I want to repeat for the record. Anytime there are opportunities that happens in Nairobi, sometimes it is good to let's be genuine and go right down. I didn't agree with the answer the great lady was answering here, and I still want to say this for the record and let it be known. I did not appreciate that interviews are being done in Nairobi. We need to have decentralized that, because there are many young people who don't have the fares to go to Nairobi. And we have money within government. This is iko pesa. We need to have actually even thought of having it Eldoret, Begine Kakamega, Kisumu, Mombasa. What do you call this? And probably Garissa. And that needs to be taken. I do not appreciate that, and I don't think it is right, because we have many young people who don't have money, and I went there, I went through that myself. That is why when I speak from the point. Sometimes you have the qualification, but you don't have the resources. And I think those who did that have listened to that. Thank you very much, P.S. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. As Mheshimiwa Samuel Chepkonga.
Good evening. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
One of the, let me say, we have 4 roles as members of parliament. 1 is legislation, 2 representation, 3 budgeting, and then 4 oversight. And all of them, it involves speaking and talking. So just forgive Honorable Kituri, because he's just paid to do that. So MC, don't find any fault on the man. He has just done what he's paid to do. And I take this opportunity to indeed sincerely thank the chief guest, the principal secretary for ICT, my very good friend, the Honorable KJ Kiarie, the member of parliament for Dagoretti, my very good friend, the Honorable Kitur, for coming and joining us here in Wazingishu, and in particular in Ainabko constituency, where we have spent the better part of today. I also want to take this opportunity also to thank the panelists. You have indeed responded to the point. You know, while I sat here, I just asked myself, who now taught these people to ask the question? There was even a gentleman by the name Rambo, you know, and Rambo generally, you know, for those who watch Rambo, the cinema, you know, I'm sure he got it from there, or he was given. You know, you have asked pointed questions, questions that are direct to the point, and I just said, these people know what they are doing. And so I want to thank you very much for the interactions, for the interactive sessions that we have had with the panelists, and the questions that you have asked that are extremely relevant. You know, we say in law, if you are not relevant, then the judge would not listen to you. You must be relevant to the case at issue. So all of you who ask questions were relevant, including the question that was placed to my good friend Jennifer from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora. You know, that I suppose it was Rambo who asked the question. And I thought in the spirit of one government in which you practice, you should have responded on behalf of the Minister of Labor and go and pay the damages later on. Just so that in the spirit of one government, which I had one minister saying, let me just say that with regard to that question, the Minister of Labor deregistered 26, about 1 month ago, deregistered 26 fake employment entities who had been pretending to be shipping people to Saudi Arabia and many other countries, and then they abandoned them. I think what we are asking them, even as us as members of parliament, they must take responsibility. There must be an oversight, there must be a regulator who ensures that Kenyans are not sent kiolela to countries without following them. Now we have a digital platform. What is the reason why we do not register every Kenyan that has gone to Saudi Arabia and you are in contact with them? Because they have telephones. They should be calling the embassies and saying, we are in trouble. Or you call them and you find out, are you okay? You know, just like what Honorable Kitur does. I think we should borrow your business, the B2B. Yeah. You know, where he can be able to send, to broadcast messages to all, you know, he does them. For instance, if I wanted to broadcast messages to all my 62,000 voters, I will go to his service. Because he has 64 million, 66 million data that he can broadcast. Please, if you are seeking to run for a member of parliament for Ainabko constituency in 2027, please, you better see him. He has the data. Unless you want to operate in darkness. PS, I want to thank you very much. You know, you are coming and the chair of ICT in parliament, together with this member. You have opened our eyes. You know, we have also a digital economy here. And the digital economy, and by the way, I am speaking for and on behalf and with the authority of all the members of parliament and senate of Wazingishu. I am their chairman. So when you hear me speaking, just know Senator Mandako has spoken, Gladys Boshole has spoken, David Kiplagat has spoken, CP Ruto has spoken, Professor Phyllis Parto has spoken, Janet Bushene has spoken. Hello, na mwingine anaitwa Engineer Mukarabati. I'm here on his behalf. So we have an economy here. We have an economy in the digital space also, in which we participate. Like for instance, I participate with mine in Ainabko constituency. So they have to call me, and I have also an M-Pesa number. So I participate in that economy. The only thing is that these guys are not in business. The only business they have is that I must send them something. And that something is because I'm the member of parliament. Yeah, and it's one way. And I have told them it is not their mistake. Their mistake is that they don't have a job. And they have elected a member of parliament, so they must visit this member of parliament. So we are promoting also that digital economy, but we have realized that is not the correct digital economy. While we were in Kipkabos, TVC, and RVTTI, we found out there were one young lady and one young man in Kipkabos. They are operating in the digital economy. And they were very happy. They are making about 1,000 shillings per week. And another one is making 1,500 shillings per week. And I thought, hey, this one has made a lot of money. Only to arrive here at RVTTI, we met a young man from the coast, and he told us that he has made over $1,000. Hello? Not 1,000 shillings, hello? Are we together? And you know, the current exchange rate, if you exchange the dollar to the shilling, possibly is about 128 shillings. So he made 128,000 shillings. And he says he comes from a home where he has no parents. So he is an orphan. So you can imagine an orphan is making 128,000. What about you as at least one parent or two parents? And you are making 200 shillings from Chepkonga. Hello? We can do better than that. So breaking news from the PS and from the chair of ICT, we must make money. We must make money in the digital economy. PS, so that I don't take a lot of time, I have two guys. They are twins and they are Luos. They are in the business of installing tiles in people's homes. So I was looking for them the other day. I asked him, where are you, Otieno? He says, I'm in the house. I said, what are you doing in the house? He said, I have no job. I said, so what are you doing in the house? So he said, I'm looking for a job. So when he came, I asked him, surely, a whole grown-up man sitting in the house, at least we can excuse the ladies because maybe there is a child who is there. Now you as a man, you know the Bible says you must go and fend for the family. So what are you doing in the house yourself? So he told me, you know, I didn't want to tell you on the phone. I am also fending for the family in the house. So I said, hey, what is it? He said, I'm in TikTok. Hello? He says, I'm in TikTok. So I asked him, so what is this TikTok? He told me we make money. He told me like last week I made $538. Hello? 538? So that is the reason why he could afford to stay in the house and wait for Chepkonga to look for him to go and install tiles in his house, which is very little money. So you can imagine in a week he made $538. That is over 60,000. Hello? Do you steal the 100 shillings for Chepkonga? So in fact, when you see me, you look the other way. Hello? Are we together? You know, while we were sitting with my friend here, I was telling him, you know, if we don't change, then change will change us. Someone said, change is the only thing that is pan. Hello, tuko pamoja? So I read a quote from J.F. Kennedy, the former president of the United States of America, which he spoke these words in 1963. In fact, I'm wondering whether he knew what he was saying. I think he was doing some sport pesa or aviator. Hello? You know, there are very many people who are in aviator. Please, forget about aviator. Do research for somebody and write a research paper and make $200. Hello? Are we together? And this is what J.F. Kennedy said. He said, change is the law of life. Change is the law of... And then he said, and those who look at the past and the present are certain to miss the future. Those who look at the past and the present are certain to miss the... Hello? Badu muko? Please. If you are looking at Chepkonga, you have missed the future. Hello? If you are looking at Honorable Gitur and Honorable KJ, you have missed the... Look at the future. Where is the future? It is with PS. PS of digital economy. This PS of digital economy is presiding over what I normally call, you know, lawyers use very big words which they cannot even pronounce. He is presiding over something called cataclysmic change. He is presiding over a change that is almost a miracle. Hello? Can you imagine he intends to lay fiber optic of 100,000 kilometers. And he has promised that he's going to pass through my constituency from Dries to Naiberi to Kipkorgot and then to town. Hello? Please don't call me for 200 shillings when the fiber optic arrives. Hello? We can make money. Are we together? We are here to make money. Yes, we are here to make money. If you get it ile partnership yangu ya Vieta, that is okay. That's not a problem. Because you know, you normally tell me, mkono mtupu haifanyi nini? So that is, hiyo ndio shida yetu tuko nayo. So, we will deal with that one. But we want to deal with this one where somebody has made 128,000 shillings. Are we together? So, Mr. Pierce, I want to thank you very much. And your team. And I want to thank you, Mr. Humphrey. Please, you know I have booked you to come and train my trainers. Yani T of T's. So that they can know how they can inua mgongo also with the digital economy. Please, I want to thank the lady, the good lady, who used to work in telecom. I'm sure you came after I left. But you must have heard that there was a corporation secretary called Chepkonga. Yeah, you must have heard. And I presided over the change. And I'm the one who wrote the law that changed KPTC and liberalized telecommunication. So you know I have bragging rights. Yeah, hello? You will not be here. I'm the one who presided over that one. Hello? Yeah, I'm the one who presided over it. I wrote the law. And I went and convinced the members of parliament. So that is the reason why we are here, because of the liberalization that we effected in 1999. You know, even to make calls, to call somebody, you know, they call reverse call. You know, we used to monitor reverse call as if it was a crime. I cannot afford, and someone in America can call me, and he can reverse. That was a crime. Can you imagine? You know, when you go to Dubai, we have a problem in Dubai. When you go to Dubai, WhatsApp voice is not allowed. So we have to look for something called, what is it called? Potin. Yes, I have to install Potin because they have not caught it. So that I can call home, because it's very expensive. So I ask myself, why should I leave my money in that economy while I have my own economy? Hello? Are we together? So we use also Potin, yeah? And then there are Pakistanis also who have an app that overrides whatever that they have done in Dubai. And so we buy that one for five, what is it called? The one of Dubai. Dirham, for 5 dirhams. And you call for the of the time when you are there. You see, that's called digital economy. Hello? Are we together? And these are Pakistanis who are just sitting there selling 5 dirhams here. Please, hata nyinyi mkuja hapa, you sell for 5 shillings. Hello? We want to hear you selling hapa, around. Yes, I want to thank you very much. You have said that you have manufactured 2 million phones. These people are saying it has not reached Eldoret. Please kindly send them to Eldoret, because we have a problem. We can't see these ones of ours. And you know, let me tell you, this is the last one I'm going to see. You know, that's what I'm telling you. You have to participate in this economy called digital economy, or you will be changed. You know, I was one of the last persons to stick with a phone called BlackBerry. Hello? BlackBerry. Until the other day, WhatsApp said they are no longer supporting BlackBerries. So I have BlackBerry 1, I have the one called Passport, I have Key 1, I have Key 2, I have all of them. I was a BlackBerry person. And I kept on using BlackBerry because I was told it has certain security features. You cannot, no one can listen to you. So I held on to it because Obama was also using it. And you know, Obama was the first Kenyan American president. Hello? Are you aware of that? So I said, since the first Kenyan American president is using, I decided that I must stay with it. So I stayed with it until change changed me. So the other day, my WhatsApp was no longer war. So I had to go and look for iPhone, which I used to despise. Hello? Now I am in the iPhone phone. So I was looking at where BlackBerry and Nokia were about 10 years ago. In fact, they were top sellers. Now as we speak, BlackBerry no longer exists. Microsoft, no one talks about it. Who are we talking about? Android? Yes, we are talking about Android. Any phone that is not Android driven is no longer in business. They have been driven out of. Hello, are we together? So please, wacha tuingie kwa hii digital economy. And PS, as you have rightly said, in Ainabkoi, we are going to install digital hub at Ilula. We are going to have the most modern one at Naiberi in a very good building. And then the other one in Wanifa. So, and then we will still cascade to other places. So I want to thank you very much, Mr. PS, for supporting us as a INABCO constituency, as you have supported also the other constituencies. I speak on behalf of the rest, because you have done it for Muiben, you have done it for Soy, you have done it for Tarimo, you have done it for Kapseret, and you have done it for also Keses. So we sincerely want to thank you for your support, and may the Lord bless you. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Thank you very much. As we wrap up, I would like to welcome Chair ICT Committee, the National Assembly, to respond to a few questions and make his final remarks.
Thank you very much, Katibu, and all the invited guests. I'll be very brief because some of us have to catch a flight. I'll answer one question and make a final closing remark. The question was, what is the status on the implementation of the digital innovation hubs? And I want to assure all of you who are here in this town hall that the story of digital innovation hubs, sio story ya jaba. As we speak today, there are already 274 digital hubs that have been installed around the country. But not only that, and all of them equipped fully, each with around 100 computers or more. But not only that, in the last 1 year, we have been able to secure the funding for the rest of the digital hubs in each and every single one ward. These monies is coming from Communications Authority. We have a fund called the Universal Service Fund, and that money, as we speak today, has already been transferred to the implementing agency, Konza, and John Paul is here. He can assure this plenary here that he already has the money. As we speak today, John Paul is already doing the designs for what you call the centers of excellence, one in every single county. And I would imagine that he's finalizing that so that in the next few weeks, we shall be breaking ground for 47 new digital hubs, centers of excellence, one in every county. Beyond that, we have already signed up contracts with national government constituency development funds, and the regulations have been done. These regulations are giving each member of parliament designs that are approved by government so that it is plug and play. A member of parliament will just get the design, go to their constituency, install these hubs in each and every one of the wards that is there. So these digital innovation hubs, sio story za jaba, hii ni story inafanyika even as we speak today. My closing remarks are this, and I shall associate them with the question that was asked. Someone asked, who is taking care of our children? I'll say this, government is doing what governments need to do. Myself and Honorable Kitur sit in the Committee of Communication, Information and Innovation. And so far, we have some good pieces of legislation that are already passed that are going to take care not only of children but of the people of Kenya. The Kenya Privacy and Digital and Data Protection Act is already enacted as a law. The Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Law is already a piece of legislation that has already been passed. The Copyright Law Amendment has already happened. So government is doing what government needs to do. But to that question, who will take care of our children? Mheshimiwa Chepkonga mentioned President Obama. One day, in a town hall meeting like this, President Obama was asked about the content that is on TV. And he was asked, you as the government, what are you doing about the bad content that is on TV? And President Obama answered by saying that the government shall not be able to walk into your house and switch off the TV when there is undesirable content. It is not the government that is going to come and take the phone out of your 6-year-old child who is addicted to social media and content that is beyond their age. Even as government is doing what government needs to do, you cannot undo the role of the guardian and the parent in protecting the child. The parent will still need to be a parent. The guardian will still need to be a guardian. So even as we are talking about developing in this digital space, the role that you have and the responsibilities that you have are not negated. Finally, we have talked so much about digitizing today, and I want to draw a continuum for you that as you have been told, the digital progression will happen whether you like it or not. If you just take the example of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not new. Alan Turing was talking about artificial intelligence in the 60s and the 70s. The growth then, if it was a graph, the growth has been like this, working together up until 2021, when now the growth became exponential. And even the deployers and the developers in AI are telling us they cannot tell us how sharp and how spiky this graph is going to be. So whether you like it or not, the digital progression will happen. So you have to ask your question. As the digital is digitalizing, how much of yourself as a human are you preserving? How much are you humanizing? And I want to tell you this. It does not matter which line you will take, whether it shall be in sciences or in the arts or in tech or in consultancy or in government or in business. There are four things to my mind that as we are digitizing, digital revolution, we have to impart on the next generation. The next generation of users of computers must humanize by acquiring these four skills, to my mind. Even as we are digitizing, we still need people who are critical thinkers. It does not matter what computers will do. You will still need to think. So we will need critical thinkers. Two, even as much as we digitize and say computers are going to take jobs, there will still be need for human logic. Humans must still problem solve. So you must have a critical mind, you must have a talent or a skill in logic. Whatever you do, make sure you up your skills in logic. The third one, which is not going to go out of fashion, is emotional intelligence. It does not matter what computers will do. You as a human must still have the properties of empathy, of love, of emotions. So emotional intelligence will not go out of fashion. Finally, Katibu keeps talking to us about the Asian tigers, the Singapores, the Malaysias, and all these other countries that were at par with Kenya at independence. And I am here to tell you that if there is one distinguishing factor about these countries, it is this final thing that we must all develop, and that is patriotism. If you sow the developers and what patriotism they have in China, you would envy them. If you saw the patriotism in South Korea, you would envy them. The patriotism in Malaysia. Here you are not being asked to like your MP or to like your governor or to love your president. You are being told to love your country and to be duty bound to your country. Patriotism is an element that will never go out of fashion, no matter how much we digitize. So even as we are doing all these digital developments, as we are building the internet, as we are building the digital innovation hubs, as we are putting out the Wi-Fi hotspots, remember, critical thinking, logic, emotional intelligence, and patriotism must be elements that we build into our curriculum even as we go on in this digitization drive. I thank you very much, and I see an amazing future for this new city. It is now going to 7 o'clock. People got here at 11, and they have been here ready to have this conversation. I came here not to listen, not to talk, but to listen to what we have heard here. And yes, Rambo, Bana, you're cut out for great things, Bana. No, keep wakilishaing. I saw my senator, my incoming senator, keep thinking the way you're thinking. There is an amazing lady there who put up the question on women in tech. You're amazing. You've got places to go. And all the other ladies who made time to be here in such a testosterone-packed hall to be able to put out questions. You ladies, we salute you. And I want to salute everybody else who is here, who has participated, including our key sponsor, the ministry, the partners who came here, the people from big tech and private sector, and the county government of Singishu. Thank you very much for hosting the first ICT town hall in Kenya's history. I thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. A round of applause to Honorable KJ. Thank you very much. I would wish to quickly recognize our content creators. Mrs. Sato Media, where are you? Please wave and ensure that we get that tomorrow. Thank you very much. DJ Jantex, where are you? Very good. A quick wave for us and ensure that the content that has been created today has been received. You can have a quick, you can say hi to the panelists, and we will quickly have a message from our CS as we finalize that greeting before the PS speaks. Those are our content creators representing the content creators from North Rift. We will be certain that tomorrow we will see. We know who we are missed, but he's with us online, and we will ensure we will create something for us in the course of this week. Arapuria, wherever you are, ensure that we have something for this particular session. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sato and DJ Jantex. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Clap for them, a round of applause for them. Thank you very much. And then quickly, you may have your seats. We have a special message from our CS, a short clip that we wish to run. Thereafter, we welcome our PS to make his closing remarks. Proceed.
The Governor, County of Uasin-Gishu, Honorable Jonathan B., Member of Parliament and Bokoi Constituency, Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, PS ICT Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui, elected leaders, government officers, and religious leaders, youth representatives, industry players, fellow Kenyans, good afternoon. Let me start by welcoming you to this town hall engagement in the great county of Uasin-Gishu. I would have really loved to be there in person, but due to other engagements in Nairobi, I did not manage to be with you. Today, as a ministry, we highlight the importance of partnership in advancing Kenya's digital transformation. Our collaboration with county government of Uasin-Gishu is a testament to the power of working together to achieve progress. This initiative will be replicated in other counties across our nation. This town hall provides a platform for our youth to access opportunities beyond borders, from global freelancing and e-commerce to applications development and content creation. It is a chance for you to discover the limitless possibilities of the digital world. We live in an era where technology is a catalyst for innovation and economic empowerment. Our youth are the heart of this transformation, driving new frontiers in the global economy as coders, content creators, and digital entrepreneurs. When we acknowledge the challenge of limited digital infrastructure skills and cybersecurity concerns, we must also embrace the opportunities that exist. These include creating digital jobs, fostering innovation, and positioning Kenya as a leader in Africa's digital revolution, a task my ministry has taken with great zeal and passion. My ministry, in partnership with key stakeholders, is committed to creating an enabling environment for digital growth. Through initiatives like the Digital Superhighway, the Open University of Kenya, the DigiCen, we are working to expand access to digital platforms and equip our youth with the skills they need for the 21st century. To the young people here today, I want to say this: the future is in your hands. You are the architects of a new, connected, and inclusive Kenya. Seize the opportunities before you, innovate, and lead the way in shaping our country's digital future. Digital spaces within our homes must prioritize safety, security, and inclusivity, with a special focus to empowering women as key advocates of cyber hygiene. As central figures in nurturing children and guiding their digital behavior, women play an essential role in shaping the next generation's responsible use of technology. My ministry will continue working to ensure a conducive environment for digital transformation in our workplaces, businesses, and livelihoods. I take this opportunity to wish you a productive engagement in this town hall meeting. Be blessed.
Thank you. A round of applause to our CS. Thank you very much. I would therefore wish to welcome the chief guest of today's event, Engineer John Tanui, PS, ICT and Digital, the State Department of ICT and Digital Economy, to take up a few questions and make his closing remarks. Thank you. Welcome, PS.
Thank you very much. It's been a very exciting day for us to be hosted in Uasin Gishu County. We've been able to spend a lot of time in Ainabkoi constituency, courtesy of Mheshimiwa, and also of our colleagues and friends. Michael Mutungi to be here, tunasema asante sana, we are very excited. I want to address a few issues. One is about what we are doing to ensure we connect or we support our schools. We have programs with Ministry of Education to ensure that connectivity to our primary schools, our secondary schools will also be done the way we are doing to the TVETs. We are also working with ICT Authority, the team who are here, to see that we, over time, we also avail devices in schools. We have a program under World Bank with Ministry of Education where we'll start with some pilot schools, but over time we will facilitate this. There was also questions about child safety. I think you have heard our minister, she's very passionate about inclusivity, about also support for the women in tech, and ensuring that no one is left behind. So we'll ensure the issues of child safety is addressed. We have Communications Authority, we have the ministry to ensure that all the partners enhance their platforms to protect the children. And you heard Mheshimiwa here say the most effective power is in the hands of the parents to ensure our children are safe. Lastly, I want to talk about three things. There are many opportunities that have been shared here. I believe amongst us are many ICT people. Please take them seriously. They are real. There are real opportunities in the digital space. And you are privileged to have heard the people who have spoken here. Michael have spoken. I hope you would listen. These are some of the world's top platforms. Google, which has YouTube, it has Android. Do you know Android phones? Do you know who's the owner of Android application? It's Google. So there are two major ecosystems, Android and iOS. That's under Apple. These are biggest platforms, guys who want to develop an application. They can host your application either in Android or in the App Store. for Apple. So you've been exposed to the best team. I don't know whether Mike is here. Mike from Wales is left. That's also, I hope you manage to listen to the opportunities that they shared. Summers also spoke. We also had Humphrey from Inua. We also had Magdalene. Magdalene, you are doing a great job. We shall salute you in Eldoret. Let's clap for this great lady. So, take seriously all those opportunities that have been shared. Believe those opportunities are real, but it is you to take the step. No one can take those steps for you. There are very exciting opportunities in cybersecurity. Please train yourself and even go to LinkedIn and search for a job, remote job on cybersecurity. Link up to people like Humphrey, they will link you to opportunities. There's huge number of jobs in cybersecurity. If today you go to Google and search jobs available in cybersecurity, you'll be shocked to see the numbers available. It's huge numbers. Today, how many of you have a smartphone or are able to Google on your phone? Yeah, many of us. You'll need to do that. And also, I hope you have these social media handles, Facebook, Twitter. Don't be left of this platform, but mainly for learning. Also, it can become a noise. If you just follow everything being posted, you need to be focused. When you're in those platforms, be focused. Be focused in terms of making money out of it and learning. The best is you can use it for learning, you can use it for monetizing your talent, you can use it for digital marketing and many others. Digital media is an exciting space, and we have here people like Lemiso and other artists. I might give him 1 minute to just say something, because this is another group we will need to arrange. We want to get those who are really have built their brands in the digital platform. We will have a specific session with them. Probably we'll arrange again with Google so that you can know how you can do much more than what you are doing. How you can move from just a portal or an handle to having an app. And we'll probably that app must be in Android. And we'll need Google to guide you on how you can build that ecosystem. There are people who have innovation and software. There was a gentleman there who asked a question about the data, the application that you have, which you said it has a lot of data. Was it you? Yeah, you need to share with us later on what that application, we are looking at how to encourage people can develop applications. That is where the world is. In future, if you don't have an application like him, it means you are like someone mwenye ana shamba. So the future shambas will be digital space. People will be making wealth in the digital space. So we need to follow like what he's doing and encourage him. And we have a program like what our CS mentioned called DigiCan, in partnership with UN, UNESCO, to build more digital platforms that can create wealth for our people. The last one is about jobs. There are numbers which were put here. Public sector and formal private sector, we have almost 3 million jobs. Those are formal jobs. So there is a challenge which we need to address. And the answer is in the growth of our SMEs and what we call startups, like the company is talking about. We need to really encourage those who are doing business so that they can continue to grow. Mheshimiwa, those people who are able to employ 4 people, 5 people, those are people we really need to encourage, because it's through the support of SMEs that we can create jobs. It's that small company that in 5 years, 10 years can be a big company. And I really want to encourage the graduates that we have. The formal jobs in government or formal corporates might not accommodate all of us, but there are many SMEs and startups. Please give your time and energy. Instead of staying idle or doing nothing, please give your energy and strength to an SME or you go to Eldo Hub and work with the startups which are there, and you might be surprised tomorrow you are the biggest employer. There are huge opportunities there, and as a government, we are also looking how do we facilitate SMEs, how to facilitate the startups, and with the partners, we will be holding probably in future more focused one on how to enable SMEs and startups to grow. Otherwise, I'm very excited to have been here today to interact and to see all of you from 11 until now. This is commitment, and we will ensure that from government and our partners in the private sector that we continue to focus and give attention to Eldoret, to give attention to Uasin-Gishu as we do so for the rest of the country. Lemiso, on behalf of all the other team here, you could come and say something before I give them, because this is also the other team. We really want to change this social and digital space. How can we use it for good? How can we use it to promote our SMEs? How can we use it to promote businesses in our cities? How can we use it for growing our tourism? And the champions are people who are already there, like Lemiso. Please just come and introduce yourself and what you are doing and what you see forward on behalf of all the others.
Thank you, Chief Guest, Bwana PS, for giving me this opportunity. To the panelists who are here, thank you so much. Today we have learned a lot. As you have heard, my name is Emmanuel Lemiso. Most of the people know me in Facebook as Lemiso Sato Emmanuel of Lemiso Media House. Well, what I want to say about us is that we are social media influencers. Most of us are like me, I'm so much in Facebook. We have those who are in TikTok. We have those who are in X, and all Instagram, and all these other social media spaces. I have gotten an opportunity to have a session with the PS, and he told me that Facebook that you're having, yes, you have good numbers. I have over 200,000 followers on Facebook. So he told me those numbers, you need to bring them into your own home, your own farm, and that is having an app. And I'm working on that, Bwana PS, and I promise you, the next time we meet, I will have an app of Lemiso Media House, whereby I can pull those people who I have in Facebook to be in my app, and to be getting information from there. What I do mostly on Facebook is passing information, timely and reliable and factual information. That is what has kept me in the market for since 2020. That is when I started being serious on doing that. So for me, I learned about using Facebook in a positive way. Even when I'm doing politics, Mheshimiwa Chepkonga can attach me to his media person. They send me the project that they are doing in Ainabkoi, then I share what is happening in Ainabkoi, what is happening in the county, and all that, and what is happening in the country. Also, I'm taking a focus on marketing, especially social places within the city of Eldoret. I've had an engagement with some few hotels within this town. I've signed a contract with them, so I'm doing marketing for them. So I'm earning from it. Facebook actually is paying me. I'm earning from it by doing marketing. If I do an average of what I get in a month, is more than what I could get, what I was getting as a salary. Because an average of up to 100 to 120,000 per month is enough money to sustain me using that app, Facebook. So it has employed me. It is my work, so that I have to guard it. So some of us in Uasin-Gishu, we are many. We have also the likes of Arapuria. We have EMC Daily, Uasin-Gishu County Forum. We have all those forums, of which I wish, if we have an engagement with these people, all of them, we teach them on how they are going to use these apps. They are Facebook and X and Instagram and all that, to ensure that they make money out of it. Not by running malice or doing anything. Be positive, do something good, do marketing well, and I'm very sure that it will enable to earn. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Bwana PS, our chief guest. I thank you so much for that. We have learned a lot, and looking forward to having that engagement with all social media influencers, so that we can be able to build each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Pass our regards to all the others, and we will organize a session, whether here or Nairobi, for those who already have such a big influence, so that we can see what next in that platform. Araburia also reached out to me. He was actually to be here, but unfortunately because of flights he could not manage, and we are very happy to see people who are doing that. When monetize, a few people were able to monetize quickly, others took them a while, and some reached out to me. And when I talked to Meta and asked what's the problem, it's because they were misusing their antles. They were not following the policies of those platforms. So it's very important to know what are the policies of those platforms. Don't use it for abusive things. Don't use it for things which are not compliant, not good. It's a place to make money and to grow your career and to engage and to connect. Those are the things that you need to do in those platforms. And then let's see how we can grow businesses in that platform. And we want good examples like Lemiso, those who will scale up to the next level and create digital enterprises. We want to see digital entrepreneurs, and you have the very best to guide you. You have Google. You can't have better than them to be in the same room with you. You can ask all the questions. They can guide you. The journey you want to establish an app, they are the owners of the platform where hubs are hosted. So we have everything that it takes us to be successful. Let's work the journey. We have the ministry willing to work with you. We have officers who are in the region here, and our offices, CEOs who have been here, the Open University. All these resources is for our people to use so that they can accelerate their development and their growth. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
A round of applause to our guests of honor. Thank you very much, PS, who is also a team leader and our leader at the State Department. I would wish now, as we wrap up, to welcome Engineer Lucy Ngendo to give a vote of thanks, as she also represents the county government. Thank you. Karibu.
Asante. Thank you so much. The chief guest, all distinguished guests, fellow youths, good evening. I want to start by mentioning my name is Engineer Lucy Ngendo Njoroge, the CC member for Youth Affairs, Sports, ICT and Innovation. Here in Uasin Gishu County, niko nyumbani, and we really want to appreciate our guests. They have been here since morning. For those who do not know, nasikia kila mtu anasema tunashukuru mmekuwa hapa kuanzia 11. They were in Eldoret by 7 a.m. They were received by His Excellency the Governor, and His Excellency the Governor really wanted to be here, but he has some engagement, and he sent his greetings and his promise to the Uasin Gishu residents that he's still committed in ensuring that as an individual and as a business person and as a resident of Uasin Gishu County, he still has the promise to ensure that you thrive and also take the opportunities that are in the digital space. He is committed in regards to the many systems that have been in place so far. So if I may just mention, we have the CCBO Pay, where we have our revenue system. We also have our service center, which is one-stop desk at the former tax center. We also have our contact center, which will be requesting our chief guest and the CS to come and unveil and launch the contact center at Kapseret sub-county office, the former old office. We also want to appreciate the fact that we've been able to work with partners and in coordination with Ajira Digital, Eldo Hub, and many other partners in regards to training our youths. So far we've trained more than 300 youths, and we are still promising, even this year we'll even train more. This financial year, We also have our systems in the cloud. I hope by now, nikisema vitu ziko kwa cloud amuoni mawingu, si ndio? Yeah, so yeah, we really appreciate. We've worked closely with Konza Technopolis in regards to the same, na tunashukuru na tunaomba pia PS, our chief guest today, hiyo mambo ya Konza City, kuna vile tuko serious. If it is piece of land, you can be sure His Excellency the Governor will be very generous in whichever the size of the land you would want. So tunashukuru sana. So I've been requested to give vote of thanks, and I believe in my speech I'm already doing that. So we want to really appreciate the office of our cabinet secretary, Honorable Margaret Nyambua. Simnasikia ni mtu wa nyumbani, si ndio? Simpaka niringe. So saa zile tunaenda Chamge, mnakumbuka pia kuna Aterere, si ndio? Anyway, thank you so much. And our guest today, PS Engineer Tanui, we really appreciate your coming. We also want to appreciate all the honorable members that have been mentioned, together with our host, MP, Simon Chepkonga. We really want to appreciate. Kindly tell all the other honorable MPs, together with our woman rep and senator, kwamba tunashukuru hii cooperation, coordination na partnership ni ya nguvu, tutaendelea kuisustain na kuimaintain. Tunasema ni asanti to all our partners. We really want to applaud you. I know I was late because as much as I was with the team, I had to rush to some other engagements. Na nashukuru sana sababu mmekuwa watu wa nguvu. Our youth to be here until this time, you can be sure knowledge yenye wamepata ni ya nguvu. Tunasema asanteni sana. To our honorable member, Mercy, our MCA, I hope mnamjua, tunashukuru sana. Kindly appreciate the ICT committee led by Honorable Malamoj wa huko Segero Barsombe, tunasema ni asanti. My fellow CC member, you can wave, Waziri Sawe, tunashukuru sana. Without forgetting my team ya ICT, you can wave together with the county staff. Tafadhali to wave all the county staff that are here. We really want to applaud you and appreciate the support you've always given us as leaders in this county government. Hatuchukuli ni jambo la mzaha. Kwa the youths who are here, the opportunities mmesikia nyinyi wenyewe, they are immense. Tafadhali tuache negativity mingi, tusibebe negativity mingi kwa digital space. Ni sisi tu tutastopisha hiyo mambo, si ndio? Cyberbullying is real. Na si vizuri uumize mwenzako just because maybe you're, I wouldn't say jealousy, but sijui ni nini wa ina drive watu wakue cyberbullies. I really don't know. I don't know why, but it is not the best. Mtu mwenye anafanya kazi ya mjengo na wewe mwenye uko negative kwa social media, mnatumia nguvu moja. So avoid that. Otherwise, thank you so much. Our office is the ICT office. Iko tu hapa chini ya ofisi ya governor, hapo kwa parking ya VIP parking. The first door on your, tulikuwa nafanyaje on your? Oh, on your left. That is where my office is. Mnakaribishwa sana. We still maintain the open door policy. In case of anything, tafadhali mfike kwa ofisi yetu. Asante sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Ministry of Information Communication.